What is up, RotoGrinders? 2 hours nonstop. MLB DFS conversation starts right now here at RotoGrinders, taking you all the way up the lock, all the way up the first pitch. Tonight's Friday night slate. Myself, TJ Zorich. TJ, you guys know TJ, right? One of the greatest DFS players in all of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. Here's TJ working hard today on the Blitz show earlier, talking about you were telling me pre-show about on your own site, Agents of Fandom, talking about Peacemaker. And what other? Oh, V? Is it called
Gen
V?
V?
What's the name of this? Gen V. Gen V.
Peacemaker,
there was
Gen
a show
V.
called V.
We also ended up covering the PlayStation State of Play that happened on our last show with the one I was complaining about missing. We covered that today as well. So we talked through the trailer for the new Wolverine game and a few others.
By the way, Brock Purdy officially back, according to Aaron Rappaport. Just getting that news. Of course, we talk a little football here as well. Not necessarily tonight, but on the weekends and showdown streets and all that kind of stuff. We'll be back. I assume, TJ, you produce Sunday mornings. Brock Purdy back for San Francisco this weekend. Was that going to be a potential Mac Jones revenge game? Am I making that up in my head? I'm not really sure, but let's talk about baseball. It's baseball. 11 gamer. It's 11, right? I think my math was correct. I counted it earlier today. Some games actually matter, TJ. A lot of teams just kind of start playing up the string, but your Blue Jays, your Toronto Blue Jays, they're battling. They're battling for a chance to win the AL East. I know you're excited about this.
Just count.
Is it 12? Okay. Well, I went to UCF, so I didn't carry the one, so my bad. My apologies. But there's one game I'm not going to pay attention to. It's happening, but it's happening in a forest, and I'm not playing anybody in those games. But you're right. I got to work. We have to acknowledge all the games being played. There's 12 games going down tonight. Yeah, Yankees are still battling for stuff. The AL East is up for grabs with Yankees and Toronto. Not just the AL East, but the first round bye, which is super important as well. Both teams are already in the playoffs, but just jockeying for position certainly matters. The Guardians still have they still got a puncher's chance. Hanging on is Detroit, who's kind of sputtering to the end. The Mariners are locked in. Last night we saw the Dodgers lock in, and I think that's something that I want to talk about, and we don't really know, and we're going to know probably later on in the show, or if we don't know, Crunch Time's going to know, or maybe even afterwards. But part of my plan today, to some degree, I think we get a goofy Dodgers lineup out there on the West Coast, taking on Seattle. They locked up the NL West like they always seem to do. I think we're getting that hangover lineup against George Kirby, and pitching today is not great. And Seattle's still playing for something, right? They have a chance. I think Seattle still has a chance. Like they can tell themselves a story that is position they're jockeying for. I think there's something you're still playing for, but it's unlikely to happen. But my expectation is that we get a weird Dodger lineup, and Kirby becomes his projection gets a little bit better, because as of right now, we're still projecting, Ohtani and Betts and Freeman and all the usual suspects in there for LA, but they are locked in the 3 spot, TJ. They're locked in the 3. They cannot move, cannot get higher, cannot get lower. You're probably going to see these guys at some point this weekend. They're not going to take all 3 days off. I imagine that's not going to happen because Monday's off too, and you don't want them to go cold over 5 days. But
the Mariners, I just looked it up. The Mariners were just fighting for first in the AL, so like home field throughout the playoffs. Okay,
that's what I thought. Yeah, they got a chance, right?
They're one game behind the Blue Jays and Yankees.
Yeah, I knew there was something. I knew like not an outside shot. And one thing for damn sure, TJ, Big Dumper Kyle Raleigh is in that lineup today. Like he's going to get every at bat possible because they want him to at least get 61. Ty Maris and see where that goes. So I imagine he'll be, if the score is 25-0, he'll be out there, still getting his hacks. Maybe just DHing, right? Why not? But I assume he's going to be in every single lineup, down the stretch here. But are we excited as a Blue Jay fan? I assume we're a little bit giddy about this.
We're a lot more giddy today than we were yesterday. The Blue Jays had been playing quite poorly, and then yesterday they almost run a bullpen perfect game. Varsho hits a grand slam. Springer hits a homer right after. They had kind of been unable to put it together recently, and that 5-game lead over the Yankees dropped to a 0-game lead over them really quick. And so with how great they played yesterday, it really felt like a momentum turner. So feeling a lot better about them today than I was yesterday.
By the way, speaking of Seattle, we just got Seattle, and a couple of the guys we were expecting to be playing, Jorge Polanco not in the lineup, Canzone not in the lineup, Luke Raley, and of course Raleigh's in there. Cole Young was the unexpected player also jumping in. Rosarena, Big Dumper, J-Rod, Naylor, Eugenio Suarez, Raley, Robles, Crawford, and Young. That is your Seattle lineup. Do you agree, by the way, as far as are you expecting the Dodgers to do something goofy? That's just sort of my expectation. If you look at the pitchers, Kirby's one of the better pitchers, better environment. And if we get a slew of bad Dodgers and like Miguel Rojas is batting cleanup or something weird like that, I'm interested.
Yeah, I definitely think that could be a possibility. I have to admit, I haven't quite kept up with that side of things as much. I was a late add to today's show, so I was just kind of playing catch up on today's slate over the last hour. So the playoff implication side of things, I feel like I'm a little bit blind, but in terms of matchup standpoints, I feel pretty locked in.
Yeah, Milwaukee's locked in. I'm not sure if you're aware. Other people are aware. They clinched their bye as well. Philadelphia's clinched their bye. So again, that's why the Dodgers are locked in at the 3. Padres have their wild card locked up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else of note. Astros still have a chance. The Astros are still fighting. It's an outside shot, but they have, according to Fangraphs, 28% chance to make the playoffs still. I assume they have to run the table, win the last 3, and possibly need some help as well. That's kind of where Cleveland is at. Just wanted to mention that Cleveland taking on Texas. But and Baltimore can play spoiler against the Yankees, which is it's been a miserable season for Baltimore, but probably they'd like to. That's something they can hang their hat on. Something go out there and keep playing and try to ruin. You can't knock them out of the playoffs, but you can certainly hurt them and help your Blue Jays. Do you want to hit the like button if you guys are hanging out there in chat? The true grinders. This has to be. I don't think I'm playing Saturday. We'll see. But almost definitely the last slate for baseball regular season for me. We're going to have playoff content as well, if you guys are not aware. There will be some real playoff slates. I think we're probably going to have some 4-gamers. So, if you're still grinding away, check out Lineup HQ, the tags, all that stuff. Our team's going to be on it. Okay. Oh, by the way, it is a Film Friday, TJ. I completely forgot. Film Friday. And let's give the people the first clue for Film Friday. And you can get yourself a week free of RG Premium. So you can look at those tags on Lineup HQ, among other things as well. All the sports, not just baseball. But tell me what film I'm talking about here. Into this Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, live stream chat channel. Be the first person to tell me what film I am talking about. And the first clue is Boys. Boys is the first clue. Get in that Discord channel. 1 guess per clue drop. No MMEing allowed. That is discouraged. You can MME in your DFS lineups, but not in the Discord here to get yourself a week free of RG Premium. All right. It's not The Hangover, by the way. First guest coming in. Hangover. Yeah, there was a child. What was the child's name? What they named the kid in Hangover? Do you remember?
Oh, I don't remember.
It's a funky name. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen. Yeah. Zach Galifianakis, that character, I believe he named the baby had kind of a funky name, but I don't recall. Somebody let me know in chat. All right. Overview. How are we seeing? Carlos? It was Carlos. It wasn't a funky name. There you go. All right, hit that like button. Stick around for the next 2 hours. You got Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood, as well as Beermakersfan and Chief Mineralogist Kevin Roth. The one potentially dicey thing is Atlanta. Yellow orange in Atlanta. Let me give it a refresh. Yes, still yellow orange. Big old paragraph here. If you want to read this at your own leisure, go ahead and check that out. But keeping an eye on that one. I was going to say there's pitching. I don't know how much it matters, but there are some names. I think Joey Wentz is playable, and the Pirates are horrific. So I think that does matter. Kind of keep an eye on that. I think Wentz is on the peripheral of my pool, if nothing else. I'm curious your screenshot. How are you seeing tonight's slate?
Yeah, it's a big slate, and so I do feel like I'm going to be able to cut down my pitching pool into smaller than I usually would for a slate this big. I do have 2 pitchers in particular that stand out as kind of by far my top options. And then if, depending on how these lineups come in, maybe a third player joining that tier as well. A few others I'll take some shots on because I'm going to play 150 lineups today. But two that really stand out, a third one that potentially will, depending on the lineups. From the bat side of things, feels very spread out today, and that's one of the reasons why I'm so comfortable. Like, just so many teams with totals between 4.5 and 5.5, which is all pretty close to the same when it comes down to it. And so I really like the idea of keeping a real tight pitching pool and then spreading out as much as I possibly can with the bats.
I think we have 3 teams that have a team total above 5. The 3 teams are all on the West Coast. It's the Giants, 5 and change against German Marquez. We have both teams in Sacramento, Kansas City and the Athletics, also a 5.25, 10.5 total, basically chopping it up with KC being the slight favorite. And my hope was, TJ, that I kind of want teams that are sort of motivated to play baseball right now, is like if I'm going to build my stacks, but it's like it's really hard to find some of those teams that are super appealing. And then there's a team like the Yankees who are fully motivated, right? And they're taking on Trevor Rogers. And Trevor Rogers has been great. And when he comes out, most likely a righty comes in. And then we're going to have some of these players exit the game. Caballero probably exits the game. Austin Slater. There's no Jazz. There's no Rice. Like, these guys are going to play if the situation calls for it. There's a very real chance Austin Slater gets 2 at-bats tonight. Like, really, really real chance. I may or may not bet his under hits tonight. Got some positive juice on
Rosario too.
Yeah. So it's just kind of hard. Of course, you can play goalie, you can play Judge, you can play Bellinger left and all that kind of stuff. But they're a motivated team, but it's just not the greatest stack, just kind of way it lines up. And then the other part of it is, like, every little edge you can get. Like, Detroit's another team against Kyle Harrison, Jahmai Jones. Once Harrison's gone, Jones is almost definitely gone. He's batting lead up there for Detroit. Maybe he gets 3 at-bats. Probably not. Maybe. We'll see. I don't know how long Harrison's going to stick around for. But just another team that's fully motivated, but they're so motivated that they're going to make every tactical decision that's correct. And that means they might overmanage, if you want to say it that way. So I just had a hard time finding teams that I like. And I landed on Kansas City. And it's like, man, one last time, Kansas City's going to let me down this season. just one more for the road. We did have a switch as far as pitchers. Earlier in the day, we had somebody else. I can't remember who it was. But now it's Mason Barnett throwing baseballs for the Athletics. Noah Cameron on the other side. German Marquez has been absolutely dreadful. There are rumors that Kyle Hendricks just might be retiring, if you want to play that narrative. I know Dave wrote about that, but I was actually listening to the Cub game, former Cub. I guess they were following it. But they said that is not necessarily true, and he's not exactly decided. But maybe it's Kyle Hendricks' last start. Get excited about that. But the pitchers that we're going to talk about here in a second, it ain't great. It's a lot of meh. Emmett Sheehan is the biggest K rate on the slate, right, TJ? 30% K rate. We like that. Good ballpark in Seattle. Some tough hitters. But there's zero motivation for the Dodgers to push Emmett Sheehan. Like, none. There's no reason to do it. They just want him to get through this start, be healthy for the playoffs. So I can't see a situation where he goes beyond 5. Now, could he pitch 5 good innings? Sure. I just don't know how to justify playing Emmett Sheehan in the limited lineups I make. I don't make a ton of lineups. So I'm curious to get your thoughts on that. Kirby's got the second biggest K rate, 25.4%. That's not huge. It's fine. It's not huge. And then the Beebs. We got the Beebs, a game that matters, right? It's a game that matters, and we kind of like that. I kind of like that. But also, what if he's a little rusty? What if he's a little shaky? Then they're going to give him a quick hook because they want to try to salvage the game. One that I did see, or I thought was interesting, is just the way
counterpoint on that a little bit. They had a bullpen day yesterday, so I don't know if a quick hook is potentially on the table. And why would it be rusty? It's only six days.
Rusty is not the right word. Just like not sharp. Not sharp.
I got you.
Rusty is a bad word because he's been.
But they had a bullpen day yesterday, and so I do think they'll try and have Bieber going as long as he can.
I imagine so. And he's probably, if you got to pick somebody as your favorite pitcher, he's also a huge favorite. Minus 190, I believe. He's probably my favorite pitcher on the board. And the other thing I think is pretty interesting is the splits. Now, we did get 2 righties. They were projected to be, but just only 1 righty. And if you look at Bieber this season, 33.3% Ks against lefties, 17% versus righties. And you say, well, that's some kind of weird outlier, right? Well, I mean, it's a small sample. He's only had like 130 at-bats or, opponents to face, hitters. But that's his career. For his career, 29% Ks versus lefties, 26% versus righties. I'm rounding the decimals, but he's been a better strikeout pitcher versus lefties, and he's facing 7 of them, for Tampa. There's some pretty good hitters in this lineup. It falls off, obviously, at the back end. But he's my favorite, and it's not that hard to get him. I'm curious your thoughts. Is Shane Bieber your favorite as well? If not Bieber, then who?
Yeah, Bieber is my guy today. He is going to be my primary target. He was one of the 2 that I was referring to. Likely going to be my highest owned guy today, just because there's not that much to spend up for. There's no 10K plus pitchers today. And so I'm going to be at least doubling the field on that 30% projected ownership that we have going on for Shane Bieber. I'll probably be getting at least 60%. And then the kind of 2 guys I'm going with today, it's all the way at the top to Shane Bieber, all the way at the bottom to Trevor McDonald.
Yeah, it's just he's 4K, he's alive, he's throwing baseballs, and he's facing the worst team in baseball in the best possible environment. And I read Dave's article too, and he was talking. He doesn't necessarily think he's good, but does it matter? He's 4K. He's throwing baseballs against the Rockies in San Francisco. End of analysis. Do you have any more analysis on that, or that's it? End of analysis.
End of analysis. That's literally it. Like it's the Rockies, right? Like we've been targeting pitchers against them all year. He pitched 89 pitches in his last game. We're not worried about him getting capped at 40 to 50 pitches. It's the Rockies, and it's not even the Rockies in Coors. It's not even the Rockies in a neutral park. It's the Rockies in freaking Oracle Park, like the most pitcher-friendly park in baseball. So, it's hard not to get to as much of this guy as I can.
Yeah, it really opens things up. And the other part of it is the lack of opportunity cost, because how many pitchers can you point to that you're being like, man, I can't. I'm so afraid that this guy's going to beat me. This guy's going to strike out 10, and I'm going to need this pitcher. Like, how many can you point to? Maybe 1 if you tell yourself a story, maybe, but probably 0. Maybe 1 guy gets there. I mean, who's the guy that has the optimal, this monster ceiling? Bieber, maybe.
I guess Bieber. Yeah, like that's kind of it.
I don't think Seattle's going to let Kirby go too deep, right? Because again, they do theoretically have a chance to get the 1. I guess that's probably not going to happen, but maybe. They already have their playoff spots, so they're probably going to essentially stay where they're at. Maybe he goes 6. I don't know if he goes beyond 7. Like he's not dropping a CGSO is just kind of the point. Like there's no way that would seem reckless. Steve's mentioning Sandy Alcantara maybe 2 years ago. He's still pretty cheap. I know the Mets, man, I kept betting against the Mets and the Cubs, just kept destroying the overs. I don't know if you were paying attention the last 3 games. I didn't actually bet the games, but I was betting by not playing anybody on the Cubs or anybody in the Mets. Because I'm like, yeah, I'm told the Wrigley wind is a real thing. And they just kept, beating up that scoreboard. Sandy's been pretty awesome, really awesome. In like 7 of his last 8 starts. He had that one start against Philadelphia where he wasn't very good. But besides that, he was great in Colorado. He was awesome against Detroit. He was great against the Mets in New York, Atlanta, St. Louis. He shut them down. At Boston, he was good. Like he's been spectacular the last month and a half or so of the season. So I think he's in my pool. Like he's definitely in my pool at 7K. He's kind of in the mid tier, right, where you're not going all the way down to McDonald, and you're not necessarily going up to Bieber, or you can pair them together. That's essentially my pool. TJ, I didn't ask you. We didn't necessarily play the game or the feud. My pool is Bieber, Kirby, the 4K McDonald, Sandy. Priester, I guess, is fine. I guess he's fine. I don't know if I need it. I think that's it. Is there somebody I'm missing? How you're making 150 lineups? Are you making big stands, or you're kind of spreading out? It feels like a slate where you spread out at offense and not pitcher. That's kind of what I would do.
I am taking big stands on McDonald and Bieber and just playing an absolute ton of them. And then I am playing a bunch of other guys at like 5 to 10%. Like I'm gonna have 60+% Bieber, 60+% McDonald, probably around 30% Kirby, assuming we get a weak lineup for the Dodgers. If that lineup comes and all of a sudden there's everybody in it, then I'm gonna sour on Kirby. Hopefully that we get that lineup before lock happens and I can just do a full rebuild, getting him totally out of there. But then I'll take a 5% on Wentz, a 5% on Jason Alexander, who is playing against the Angels, who are running out 8 right-handed bats. He's been really good against right-handed bats this year, and the Angels strike out a ton. So he's only 6,500. Sure, I'll try him a little bit. Alcantara, he's been a lot better recently, and so at only 7K, I'll probably have like 10-15% of him. But like Slade Ciccone, Emmett Sheehan, Quinn Priester, sure, you can play him, but like 5%-ish for me. And if I wasn't playing so many lineups, I wouldn't be getting there.
All right. The chat, by the way, chat's throwing me off a little bit. They're talking about the movie The Outfit. I'm not sure. TJ, here's The Outfit. Put that on the list. It is spectacular. It's a fairly new movie. Nobody really talked about it. I think it was on Amazon. I'm not really sure where it's at now, but it's a very, very good movie. And Alan's throwing me off saying Soto BBP. You ready for this BBP? This is Juan Soto. He was great against everybody. 12 for 43 with 2 homers. Like, that's not BBP. That's not, 12 for 43? We're getting excited about that? It's Juan Soto. Sandy Alcantara is like pretty good against them. That's a 279 batting average, 2 home runs. If I want Juan Soto, that's not what I want. If I'm rostering, I'm not paying $6K for that. No, that's not BBP. I mean, it is, but it's not good BBP. I guess it's actually factually BBP. I'm taking a peek here at the Discord, and I want to see if we have any winners. It's funny, we have the usual suspects with the usual names. Kirkwood, one last time firing off Brokeback Mountain. It is not. I can't make it Brokeback Mountain because somebody's just going to goof their way into it just for fun. It's not Brokeback, and it is definitely not Leprechaun in the Hood. I know people were trying to make that one happen. Or No Country for Old Men, or There Will Be Blood, or My Cousin Vinny, or the Billionaire Boys Club, the Kingsman, or Scarface. A lot of guesses coming on through. Do you want to drop a second clue for the people, TJ? Let's get them going. Let's get 2 clues out there so we can give away some premium. First clue was Boys. Second clue dropping now is Bride. Bride and Boys. That is your first 2 clues. Get in that Discord channel. All right. Kirkwood said he thought it was going to be Brokeback in the last show. We got Tasteful Tides hanging out in the chat as well. He's making homemade pizza? You ever make homemade pizza, TJ? Is that something you ever done before?
Done that a few times.
You got one of those specially just for a pizza oven, or no? You just throw it in the regular oven?
My sister does, so that's when we'll do it. We always do it at her house.
There you go. All right. Tim, I guess, is Tim, you got to set. I don't know if you follow Tim on Instagram. I don't know if anybody does. I'm not sure if he has one, but he does, though. Put that homemade pizza up on the gram. All right. Anything else as far as pitchers? Oh, you want to run the list down, or anybody that we should mention? I feel like it's pretty cut and dry. It's big slate, but a lot of these guys just no chance for me. You said some guys are getting 5 or 10%. You already kind of ran them off. Who was in the conversation for you?
In terms of a recap, like if I'm playing single entry, even 3 entry max, I probably just stick to Shane Bieber and McDonald. They're my top pitchers by far. I'm going to be getting them in 60+% ownership. And then George Kirby and Sandy Alcantara are the next guys on my list. Kirby I'll bump off if we get the fully normal Dodgers lineup. If we do get a weaker one, then I'm going to keep playing a lot of him. And then just Quinn Priester, Sheehan, Ciccone, Alexander, and Wentz are all guys I'll get 5 to 10% off.
Is Spidey working? Is Spidey with us today?
Spidey is working, but I usually give him a call early in the day when I'm playing baseball, so he has lots of time to get back to me. Okay. And because I started looking at the slate so late, I gave him a late call. So the Spidey bombs are in fact coming. I should be getting the first batch sent to me any minute here. And so we're only at 38 likes. We'll get them at 50 likes, at 75 likes, and 100 likes. 3 Spidey bombs, but we got to be hitting the like button. And hopefully Spidey gets back to me here in the next couple minutes.
All right. So just have those likes ready and knock it out while you can. So once the Spidey does make contact, he's He's in the other room. It's not that far. He could just like tap you on the shoulder. It's not like he's got to call you or anything, right?
I live in New York. I live in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and he lives in New York City. So not exactly the other room.
I completely forgot about my like I said in the introduction. Like, of course I know where you live. I guess I just forgot where Spidey lived. All right, let's. Anything else you want to say as far as pitchers? Because I feel like it's kind of cut and dry. I'm trying to see if anybody in chat is Ciccone. Steve's throwing out any interest in Ciccone for Cleveland?
He is currently in my pool as somebody I would likely get about 5% of. But if I were to make one cut out of the guys that I have, he'd be the first one getting it.
I do want to take a peek at our ownership stuff. People are certainly interested in this. On FanDuel, it's not that hard to get the Biebs. Biebs is getting twice as much ownership more than the next guy. So we got Bieber at 24%, Sheehan at 12%. I already said I'm not playing Sheehan, and like on FanDuel, where you don't need the quality start. We saw Cole Reagan's, he didn't go quality the other day, but he had 5 innings and 10 Ks. He doesn't need those quality start points when you're dropping down 10 Ks. But I just don't know how much they push Sheehan today in a game that really does not matter. They need him for the playoffs. Yeah, we got Bieber at 12%, Sheehan at 12%. I'm sorry, Bieber at 24%. This is FanDuel. And then Sheehan and Kirby basically the same, around 11, 12%. And then beyond that, everybody else is in the single digits. On DK, where you got a roster 2. Most popular as of right now is Bieber, then Sheehan, then Kirby at 20%. I think that changes. I assume that changes if we get a weird Dodger lineup, which I personally am anticipating, but I don't know. It just seems like something Roberts would do. And kind of the smart thing. I think it's kind of the smart thing to do. Just there's no reason to play these guys. Maybe they rest a couple and rest a couple tomorrow and a couple the next day. I don't know. Or maybe they just rest basically everybody today. Priester coming at 18%, McDonald at 17%. I think that's going to be higher, TJ. What do you think? I think it's going to be higher because it's just, again,
I think so. Like, it's not like we just don't have any strong options. It's not like you said, there's nobody that's going to be like, I'm terrified of his ceiling tonight. So I think a lot of people are going to be going to the 4K guy. I would guess that's going to be closer to, on DraftKings, closer to 30 to 40%.
Wentz at 14%. I'm going to keep an eye on that again for the weather. Roth will be on in about 45 minutes or so. You mentioned Alexander. Everybody else is kind of single digits after Ciccone at 13%, Wentz 14%. Alexander and Leiter and Will Warren and Sandy at 6% is really interesting. If that holds, I think that's a really a good number to get ahead of in tournaments. I do have some more movies coming in here on the Discord channel. Seeing what today's Film Friday is. It's not Ride Along or Twins or Licorice Pizza or Kill Bill or The Godfather. It's not Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, or Beetlejuice. I don't know what Seven Brides for Seven Brothers is, but it's not that. Get your guesses coming on through. We'll drop another clue soon enough.
I'm back to back 5-star days on my movie watching.
Well, okay. What did you watch?
Yesterday was There Will Be Blood, and day before was Top Gun Maverick.
Talking about There Will Be Blood, because I know we had the conversation with you. I think we were talking about this with Rebar and Daigle. This is not one of those movies where you watch while you're like doing your work, or you got to watch the movie. First 15 minutes, there's like no talking. What is your takeaway from There Will Be Blood?
Story standpoint, didn't do anything like exceptional for me. Like, it's not one of my personal favorites in terms of like all-time movies, but undeniably 5-star film. Like, incredible acting. Daniel Day-Lewis is incredible. Paul Dano is incredible in this movie.
Yeah.
And so not like a personal favorite because I'm very story fixated and the story didn't interest me all that much, but undeniably a phenomenal movie.
I Drink Your Milkshake. You finally get that reference now, I imagine. Yeah. I've abandoned my child. The incredible scenes with Dano and Daniel Day-Lewis. Spectacular movie. I feel like I'm due for a
before I see one battle after another, I still want to see Magnolia and Phantom Thread.
You're probably not going to like Magnolia. I liked it, but it might. I don't want to poison it. Go ahead, give it a shot. Great cast in Magnolia. Tom Cruise playing against type. You're not going to see it coming with Tom Cruise. But all right, what else is going on here in chat? Yeah, chat's talking about Ice Road Vengeance. Speaking of Daigle and Rebar. We watch a movie every single week, and I picked Ice Road Vengeance, which looks terrible, but hopefully fun terrible with Liam Neeson. That's what we'll be watching for the Pick Six show this week. Okay. Anything else you want to say as far as pitchers?
No, sir.
No Moncada today. I kind of like Moncada a little bit. Moncada not in the Angels lineup. Alexander vulnerable to lefty power. So how many righties do we have here? It's Sean Well leading off and Rengifo. So it's 7 righties for the Angels taking on Jason Alexander. Sean Well, Trout, Ward, Adele, Rengifo, Ohapi, Christian Moore, Guzman, and Teodosio. We're still waiting for the Dodgers, still waiting for Kansas City, as well as the Athletics. Both teams in San Fran, that's Colorado, and the Giants. No D-backs just yet. No Brewers. They're just, kind of playing out the string. They're asking about Task. Have you started Task on HBO Max? I'm 2 episodes in, and it's quite good. But there's like 1 or 2 more out there, and I don't want any spoilers. So please no spoilers. But is that something you've knocked out?
I have not personally, but we did talk about it on the Agents Fandom podcast today because the 2 guys I was on with had both seen it. So we have a section at the beginning always called What You Watching, where we just kind of talk about, like, outside of the show we're covering right now, what have we been watching lately. And so big things today were Task, Alien Earth, and Chad Powers.
Yeah. Didn't you have like an advanced screening of Chad Powers? Is that officially out on Hulu?
No, it comes out on the 30th. Hulu in the States, Disney Plus everywhere else. And my review is up on agentsfandom.com right now. I got to watch it last week.
I feel like, and I told it to you, I feel like that had a huge variance. That could be completely terrible. It's based upon, the Eli Manning thing where he went undercover, right?
Yeah.
I think loosely based on that.
My spoiler-free review, spoiler-free, it's absolutely hilarious. It is. I was genuinely debating giving it a 10 out of 10 in my review, but it's not a complete season of television. It doesn't finish the story. It's 6 episodes, and they call episode 6 the season finale, and it's not. It's a mid-season finale. Like, the story is nowhere close to wrapped up. So that dropped it for me because we're going to have to wait for it to get renewed and then for Glenn Powell not to be busy. The 2 guys it's created by are Glenn Powell, one of the busiest actors in Hollywood, and Michael Waldron, one of the busiest writers for Marvel Studios. And so, I don't know when we're going to be getting a season 2, but it badly needs it to finish the story.
And it probably will. If those guys want to do it, it'll probably get a season 2. I imagine it's going to do well. Black Rabbit is in my queue on Netflix. I've not started that. There's some shows being thrown out there. And I've always heard good things about Slow Horses. I've not seen it, but I'm told that's really good on Apple. But, you can't watch everything, TJ. We can give the people a 3rd clue. We gave them the first 2, Boys and Bride. The 3rd clue, maybe this changes things, we'll see, is Slap. Boys, Bride, Slap. Get in that Discord channel. Tell me what film I am talking about. Win yourself a week free of RotoGrinders Premium. Okay, TJ, for those that are just tuning in, 35 minutes in, they want to know, a little bit of a wrap-up, a little bit of a review, a little bit of a summary, the old TLDR. Favorite pitchers? How are you attacking pitching tonight?
All the way at the top, then all the way at the bottom. Shane Bieber is my top guy by far. He'd be my first option on FanDuel, but on DraftKings, where we got McDonald, all the way down at 4K against the Rockies in Oracle. I mean, it's just the perfect spot. So I'm going to be playing a ton of Bieber and McDonald. If I was playing single entry, if I was going 3-entry max, those would be the only guys I would roster. And then in larger field tournaments, next 2 options are going to be Kirby and Alcantara. Kirby stems very much on the lineup we're going to get from the Dodgers. If it is a full, complete, normal Dodgers lineup, I don't want to play Kirby. If we get a watered down one, they rest Ohtani, they rest Muncy, they rest Will Smith, they rest Betts. 2 or more of those guys, and all of a sudden I really want to start getting to Georgia Kirby, especially if Ohtani's not in the lineup. Outside of that, 5 to 10 percenters, guys I'm mixing in just because I'm playing 150 lineups. Priester, Sheehan, Ciccone, Jason Alexander, Joey Wentz.
Yeah, Will Smith on the IL, by the way, so he's definitely not going to be playing. But I know what you're saying.
Well, that's him.
Definitely, Will Smith's not going to be playing baseball tonight unless
We
he's going
are
to be
3
activated out of
likes
nowhere.
away, last I checked, from the first Spidey Bomb. So assuming as I talk about it, 2 more people now are going to hit the like button. We'll get up to 50. Spidey Bomb number 1 for my Blue Jays, Dalton Varsho, plus 475.
Varsho hit that grand slam, right? I think, was that off a lefty? I think that was his first homer. That was his first homer off a lefty this season, I think. Is that correct? Can you confirm or deny? I believe it was.
I can't confirm or deny.
I'm pretty sure that was his first homer this season off a left-hander. Rick James is not the name of a movie, but I understand why you're guessing Rick James in chat. Jeez, you're doing the Chappelle skit, I suppose. Yeah, that is not the. And also, you can't guess. Film Friday. You know where to guess. The official guesses are in the Discord channel. All right, it's not Mean Girls or the Ballad of Buster Scruggs or multiple people are saying Hitch. It's not Hitch or Monster-in-Law. Okay, let's talk about today's tiers. Let's throw some teams in some tiers. TJ, I don't know if you know this, at least in America, or maybe it's the world. I'm not sure. It is National Dumpling Day. So yeah, have you done anything special for? I know you've been working hard today. You do anything out of the ordinary to celebrate?
I am not doing anything special for National Dumpling Day tonight. No, I am planning to make some homemade burgers for dinner after this.
Oh, there you go. As an aside, I think dumplings are one of the more underrated foods. Like if you think about underrated foods, not a lot of respect for dumplings for some reason, but it's very versatile, as we'll hear. And you even said, you're like, I don't even know how many different ways you can get a dumpling. There's a lot of different ways, and a lot of them are kind of similar too.
Well, it's like I was looking at it. I genuinely don't know the difference between the first 3 you put on.
A lot of it is like the shape, right? I don't want to give you extra work, but if you could pull up the pictures, like you can Google, I promise you'll visually you can tell the difference to see what here, spoiler, we're going to tell you what's going to be on the board.
You also completely missed by far the best dumpling.
Well, good. I want to hear what you told me I missed. Please, by all means, let me know. Maybe the chat can let me know too, and tell me what the best or worst dumpling there is that exists. I didn't go like chicken dumpling, pork dumpling, a little bit more specific than that. But if you pull up the images, TJ, like you'll see what like a gyoza looks like, as opposed to like wonton, as opposed to dim sum. Different kind of dumplings. But yeah, that is the board. Number 1, gyoza. That's kind of your traditional looking dumpling, I would say, at least in America. I think that's like the one that if you order dumplings
like a pot sticker, that's like a guy.
It's a pot, yeah. It's like a pot sticker, basically, yeah. But I believe in Japan they're called gyozas, so I think I got that correct. Wonton is wontons are in your soup, wonton soup. No, it's not ironically named. And dim sum is just kind of the way it's. I'm not the expert in this kind of stuff, but if you Google it, they look a little bit different. They taste fine. 1 through 3 are all pretty solid. This is just like a general vegetable dumpling. It's whatever. But if you're gonna get a dumpling, you probably want chicken or pork in there, most likely. And that's just me. Or shrimp. Shrimp dumplings are pretty solid. And then small sample size. I've only had it once. Matzo balls. They were on the list of dumplings. I never even think of them as dumplings, but they didn't do anything for me. So I had to throw something in 5 and matzo ball. I think I had matzo ball soup. I want to say, which again, not ironically named. That's why it's in the 5 hole. What did I miss? What was the best dumpling that I not acknowledged?
Pierogies.
Yeah, is there like potato in there or something?
I mean, it's a potato.
What's in a pierogi?
Dumpling.
Yeah, I'm not a huge. I think I've had them before. It's mostly just potato, right? Is there anything else that's in there?
Butter and onions, and then for some people, cheese.
Yeah, and I get it if that's your thing, but I did look at that for a second, and I was like, I'm not really a fan. I almost put it.
I've never met somebody who doesn't like pierogies. That's crazy. I mean, I guess I am from Saskatchewan, where there's a large Ukrainian population, so they're a big
deal there.
I've never met somebody who doesn't like them. And Captain America Bleeds says pierogies are not dumplings. They're Eastern European potato dumplings.
I think they're dumplings. Yeah, I think they fall under the category of dumplings. I mean, they might be their own entity, but like they're in the tree, if nothing else. All right.
They can also be anything. Like you can have dessert pierogies that have berries in them. You can have various different things.
Well, I considered empanadas, which is kind of sort of like it depends on how liberal we want to be at the interpretation. But Kirkwood says soup dumplings are the best. Well, yeah, there's like chicken and dumplings. I don't know if that's kind of like a comfort food, I would say. But there's many different ways to define this stuff. But this is what we went with to celebrate National Dumpling Day. All right, gyoza in one. We have wonton, dim sum, vegetable, and matzo balls. All right, let's throw some teams into some tiers, TJ. We're getting some more lineups coming in as well. We'll give the recap in just a second. First game we're going to talk about is the Yankees, the hated Yankees, the team you are passionately rooting against tonight, I would imagine. Will Warren in the bump, taking on Baltimore. Baltimore playing out the string against Trevor Rogers. Trevor Rogers has been really awesome this season. He's been spectacular. His last start of the year, all these guys, their last start of the year. Yankees kind of a funky lineup. They got their lefty lineup in there. These guys are going to get swapped out almost definitely, barring some goofiness. Slater, almost for sure. Caballero, very likely. Rosario, you mentioned. Jazz on the bench. Rice on the bench. Where do you want to throw Baltimore and the Yankees?
Yeah, Yankees certainly get demoted a little bit just because of all the pinch hit risk within them, and they're playing Trevor Rogers. But this is the Yankees. I think Judge and Stanton are really, really great plays today. I'm going to put them in dim sum in tier 3. And then on the Baltimore side of things, I'm actually going to put them up in tier 3 as well. They put a lot of lefties out there today. And Will Warren struggles quite a bit against lefties. I think Baltimore is a very interesting sneaky stack.
It's funny you say that. For the expert survey, you got to write up a sneaky stack. And I never want to write anybody up like the top 3, top 4, top 5 that would be on my board. But I did write Baltimore up as my quote-unquote sneaky stack. And like you said, the lefties I like a good bit. Good ballpark. The tricky part, and this is like the counterpoint if you're going to argue against it, is if Warren's not pitching well, he's going to get a quick hook, and somebody good in the bullpen is going to come in. So you got to get there early.
In quotations, good will come out of the bullpen, but that Yankees bullpen gets blown up a lot.
So yeah, I just think somebody better than Warren. But I was looking at the last 30 days stuff on him, and his strikeouts are down to like 16%. It feels like he's running out of gas for the season. Let me just confirm this. 16.7% is his current K rate in his last 30 days. 23.8% of the season. So he has not been good, and he's been getting smashed also as far yielding a bunch of power to both lefties and righties. So Baltimore is my sneaky stack, and I forget, TJ, when you do this, I can't see the Yankees. I know the Yankees are there, but I cannot see them. I see. When you start a video game, TJ, when you start a video game, it says like adjust your TV so like this logo you can barely see it. That's perfect. I don't know if that bothers you or not, but that looks so much better.
I just forgot to do it because I actually have good eyes.
No, that's not what's going. No, that's not what's going on there. It's not good eyes. I have a cheat code. I have glasses. You see what these things do?
Yeah, you could have the best glasses in the world, and they still wouldn't be as good as my eyes, Dean.
What do you have? 1020?
No, 1020 would be bad.
2010? I don't know.
I have 25 vision.
25. Okay,
yeah.
So that's better than 2020?
Yeah, that means I can see 20 meters as clearly as people with 20/20 vision can see 5 meters.
So wait, isn't it actually in meters, or you're putting it like in Canadian? Okay, I don't know.
That is how it's measured. That is how it's measured as meters.
The world cares more about meters than yards. So
yeah,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that was the case, but it makes sense. Okay, both teams hanging out there in dim sum. Rays against your Blue Jays, the Biebs, Shane Bieber taking on Adrian Hauser, a -182 favorite. Hauser's hard to pick on. Is this kind of like I was trying to get to Toronto, and I think I guess you'll tell me in a second. And there's a lot of teams that are imperfect on the slate, and certainly they're fully motivated. But I'm curious where you want to put the Rays and the Blue Jays.
I'm going to put Blue Jays up in there's some bias, admittedly, popping in here. Hauser is a solid pitcher, especially against righties, but I'm putting Blue Jays up in tier 2. I like them today. I have a gut feeling that yesterday was going to be a really big momentum shifter and booster for them, and I'm calling a hot streak now. And so I could be way off. This is 100% bias, but I'm putting Blue Jays up in tier 2. Rays, on the other hand, all the way down in matzo balls. They're facing the best pitcher on the slate. They're not in their home minor league stadium. I have no interest there.
All right. Next up, it's the Marlins. The Marlins at home versus the Mets. I imagine we're going to get a big crowd this weekend down here. A lot of New Yorkers. So I'm guessing a lot of people rooting for the Mets. And this game, of course, matters for New York. So my expectation is that we're going to get a big crowd there for the last series of the year for Miami. Sandy, we talked about Sandy Alcantara being, kind of having 2 seasons, being terrible for 4 months and turning it around of late. Brandon Sproat is throwing baseballs here versus Miami. Sproat is a minus 143 favorites. We've seen the Mets and the Cubs together just overcome bad ballpark environments the last couple days. Plenty of power in this team. Lindor, Soto, Nemo, of course, the polar bear. Where do you want to put the Metropolitans and the Fish?
Yeah, Metropolitans tonight. I think I'm going to put them in tier 3 as well with the Fish. They're a matzo balls team for me. I'm just not getting any Marlins today. Mets, they got a solid and a half implied run total, even though they are up against Alcantara. I have a lot more interest in just like Soto and Lindor, maybe some Nimmo or Alonso than like a full stack here. But I'm going to keep them in tier 3 because they obviously do have the ceiling to go off.
See if we have any winners here in the Discord for today's Film Friday. It's not Independence Day, or there's something about Mary, or The Hangover, or Airplane. Mike and Dave need wedding dates. It's not that, or The Social
Underrated
Network.
movie. That movie's hilarious.
Yeah, that's Aubrey Plaza and the dude from
Zac Efron, Aubrey Plaza, Anna Kendrick, and Adam Devine.
That's who I couldn't get to. Divine from The Righteous Gemstones. That's who I was stuck on. Yeah, it's a fun movie, and I think it's based on a real story. It's
funny to call him Adam Devine of The Righteous Gemstones. Like I get that sounds weird.
You think of him of the what was that show on Comedy Central that I didn't watch, but apparently it was good? Is that what you think of him first? Where do you think of Divine first?
I mean, weirdly enough, for me, I also think of him from Pitch Perfect before anything else. But
okay.
Yeah, Workaholics is his thing. Like that's
the show I was trying to think of.
Like, that's his bag.
Duncan says Adam Devine of Modern Family. I didn't watch that show. He was on that show, or is he making
for a couple
one episode? Okay,
for a couple. Yeah, maybe one, maybe a couple. I don't remember, but I do remember seeing him pop in there.
Okay, moving along. Detroit, Boston, Casey Mize versus Kyle Harrison. 9 total. One of the bigger totals on the board. 2 teams still motivated, still playing for something. Boston is not officially in, but 98% chance. Some really goofy things have to happen for them not to make the playoffs. They have to go over, and then some other stuff as well. As far as Detroit, they're 50-50 at this point, and they've been sputtering. So both teams fully motivated. The other thing with Detroit is lefty starter, so we're going to get some shenanigans when it comes to pinch hit stuff. I feel pretty confident. I've not checked the bat that Jahmai Jones is the most likely candidate to get the hook. Maybe Parker Meadows as well. Well, he was starting left on left, actually. He would stick around. But I guess it'd be Jones, the most likely candidate. Detroit, Boston, what do you got?
Both of these teams I'm moderately interested in today, but I really hate how Boston's been laying out their lineups. Like, give me more of these lefties near the top of the order. Not overly high on either of these teams, but I think both of them are playable. I know I'm kind of straddling some fences today, but genuinely, I feel like both of these teams are tier 3 teams. I'm going to be getting to them in full stacks, but they aren't out of their way to be top targets. And it's one of the reasons why I'm trying to keep such a tight pitching pool so that I can spread things out a little bit more. Alan in chat saying Mize has reverse splits. I know that, but like they've been doing that all week. Even against like Scherzer, Abreu was still batting 7th or 8th. And it makes no sense. Like Abreu has been one of your best power hitters all year long. I get he strikes out a lot, but I don't understand him batting 8th when I don't know, you got Rafaela and
they got Nate Lowe in front of another lefty. Yeah, so I guess Nate Lowe's got a bigger power record, I think. I'm not even sure if that's true, but I agree. He seems to be very a little too much. Yoshida looks like a cash game play if you're still playing cash. I can't imagine. But if you are, enjoy yourself. Yoshida possibly can be some, he's 3-3 on DK in the 4-hole. I did take a peek at the bat, by the way, and pinch hit risk for Jahmai Jones, 57%. And Andy Ibanez, 47%. So I'm not saying you can't play those guys. I won't be playing those guys. They're also not very good. That's it. They're not great at baseball, and they're probably not going to play a full dry 9 of baseball tonight. Okay. Let's give the people a fourth clue. Clue number 4, TJ. I think it's ready, right? Clue number 4 is it good to go? Is it?
It is good to go. Let's do it.
All right. So get in the Discord channel. Tell me what movie, what film. It's a Friday, so what film we're talking about. Boys, bride, slap. The first 3 clues. The last clue. No, not the last clue. The next clue is party. Party is clue number 4. So let me know.
Wonder. I'm not gonna give anybody. I'm not going to give anything away, but I guess in theory that this is the people getting a little bit of a bonus hint from me.
Oh boy.
Was the choice inspired by
inspired by what?
Somewhat of recent happenings.
No, not inspired by recent happenings. No.
Okay.
It was not inspired by recent happenings.
All right.
It was inspired by
after it's revealed, I'll let you know what I mean.
It was inspired by something, but I wouldn't say it was inspired by recent happenings. I would not phrase it that way.
Or recent not happenings.
Oh no. Now I see what you're saying, but no, it was not inspired by that either. But that's actually a good thought. But no. Okay, Texas and Cleveland. Ciccone against Leiter, 7.5 total. Cleveland is a -50 favorite here. They are a fully motivated baseball team. Their chances to make playoffs as of right now, I think it's less than 40%, somewhere around there. 22%, according to Fangraphs. They got to win out, and they need Detroit to lose. All right, so talk to me about the Guardians and the Rangers.
I'm actually quite interested in the Guardians tonight, despite their low total. I think this is a really interesting tournament stack tonight. Low ownership. Love Jose Ramirez. I'm going to put them up in tier 2. On the other side of things, Texas, no interest in the full stack, but we don't they're so cheap, but we don't really need that salary. I'm more interested in them as one-offs or potential mini stack. Jock Peterson, Rowdy Tellez, maybe even some Ezekiel Duran.
All right, moving along. What new lineups did we get? I think some have come through. I want to take a peek. We got the Athletics. Langoliers leading off with Kurtz, Rooker, Soderstrom, Wilson, Thomas, Butker, Hernandez, and Harris. I'm not sure if we were expecting a couple of those guys, but I think we did not expect Butler left on left. So he snuck in there. Okay, we also got the Brewers, I believe. Yelich, Churio, Charang, Contreras, Frelick, Vaughn, Bowers, Monasterio, and Ortiz. Nothing really goofy, I don't think, with Arizona. Perdomo, Marte, Carroll, Moreno, Alexander, McCann, Thomas, Vargas, and McCarthy. So still waiting on. Let me give it a refresh here.
Houston.
We're still waiting. Yeah, no Houston just yet. No Dodgers, no Rockies, no Giants. I think that's it. Everything else is in. Okay. Moving along here. We still have no teams. No teams hanging out with Gioza. Maybe we'll get one soon enough. We'll see.
Would you have any of these teams up in Gioza?
I don't think there's any teams if you're going to force one, it's probably one of the later games. Yeah, I don't really love any offense today. I'm not disagreeing with you, to be fair. I'm just saying. I wouldn't. I should have just said no. Mitch Keller, Joey Wentz. Last we checked, some potential weather issues. Let's see what Roth has to say.
Got a Royals lineup.
Okay. How are we looking?
Yaz, Witt, Pasquantino, Garcia, Perez, Jensen, India, Fraser, Caglianone.
Okay. I wanted Caglianone in there. I don't want him buried in the 9 hole, but that's who I wanted. He's one of my favorite ways to get cheap tonight. Yeah, okay. And also Roth.
John Rave, who was projected in there.
Rave was projected to play? Okay.
Yeah. Frazier instead of... Oh, no, we had Frazier in 2. India instead of Rave.
Yeah. Remember India was leading off every single day, and the bat would say, play India. And I'm like,
yeah.
No.
No, thank you.
I appreciate the thought. I understand why he was getting spit out. Second base is terrible and he's super cheap, but India is actually worse. Okay, so by the way, yellow now. It's straight yellow now in Atlanta. So a positive report here from Roth as far as his update. Nothing more than a chance for a spotty downpour causing a delay. Spotty downpour. It sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? But I understand what he's saying. It's Atlanta. You know the pop-ups. I heard a fun fact today. I don't know if it's fun. You tell me. This is the very first season for the Rays. They played outdoors. You know this. They played in the Steinbrenner Stadium. Very first season ever in the history of the Rays. They had 0 rainouts as a team, like home and road. Just they had no rainouts. Of course, they had some road rainouts, in seasons past. They would never get rained out at home. But all right, not fun. Probably not. You tell me what's up next as far as our next game. I think it is. Pittsburgh and Atlanta. What do you got?
Atlanta, I think, is pretty interesting. Pittsburgh, they suck. I don't want to play Pittsburgh. Atlanta, I guess, maybe the first Gioza team. Like, we're still seeing a pretty full lineup from them. They got a nice high implied run total. I'm not worried about Mitch Keller really whatsoever. I think they're like a very interesting team today. Like, getting some Ronald Acuna Jr. He's one of my favorite bats on the slate. He's the only one on the team projecting for more than 10%. Like, they're going to be really low owned. This isn't a bullish take, but I think we're going to put the Braves as the first tier 1 team.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not well actually you, TJ. I don't even 100% know, but I'm fairly certain it's Gioza. I think it's Gioza. Somebody in chat confirmed. Do you know this?
What did I say?
Gioza. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I'm just,
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Tomato.
Yeah, well, sure. This is like your 5th show today. If this is if you mess one, it's fine. I'm still not 100%.
I don't think you're I don't think you're wrong. I didn't even know that I said that. I think you're right.
Yeah, it's an easy, and I could see, it's very, very easy to say. Tim is telling me I'm such an elitist. I just didn't want you to keep saying it incorrectly by accident. I was trying to do it in a polite way, but I was not calling you out. And I gave it a Google earlier, so I didn't even know. 100%.
I mean,
right.
You thought they were Japanese, so that's problem number 1.
Are they not?
No, they're Chinese.
Oh, jeez. I thought. Okay, my bad. I'll take the L on that. No winners just yet. I think we're gonna go to 5. I don't see any winners. It's not Hot Tub Time Machine or Weekend at Bernie's or Bad Grandpa. They're thinking of Aubrey Plaza movies now, or The Princess Bride or Breakfast Club. But yeah, we'll probably have to drop that 5th clue. Let's go ahead and do it. Why not? Let's give them Survive. Survive is the 5th clue as we talk about the Reds and the Brewers. 8 total. Zach Littell versus Quinn Priester. Littell gives up a lot of home runs. I was trying to think of how to take advantage of that with Milwaukee, but Milwaukee's is sort of tricky when it comes to how they just compile their runs. But I don't mind the idea of home run hunting. And they're another team that's just they're just chilling, right? I think they're locked in. They got the bye, but I don't think they can do much else. Maybe I'm wrong on that. 96 wins. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, 96 wins, and they are. I guess the Phillies, in theory, can catch them at 94 for like home field throughout, but pretty likely they're going to have home field throughout, assuming they stick around. But yeah, Brewers and Reds.
Brewers, I am going to put up in tier 2 with the Wontons today. I think they make for a very interesting stack. Another team that we're getting basically their full strength lineup today. So Brewers, I am going to put up in tier 2 with Wonton. Reds, we're going to go tier 3. They got to win. They're fighting. I just don't really like this spot against them.
5 more games to go. 5 more teams. Go ahead.
Gioza is how it's pronounced.
I mean, it depends who you ask, I suppose. I saw Gyoza, but
that's what the pronunciation app says.
I've seen it in multiple spots. I've seen it in different ways in different spots. Yeah.
Hold on.
What?
I turned the sound on my laptop. I was going to make it sound, but then I realized it has 2 version of our shows. For what it's worth, you were right that is a Japanese word, but the food or originated in China.
Okay, I knew I saw Japanese next to it, so I knew I wasn't crazy, but I wasn't going to fight you on it.
Yeah, that is the Japanese word for a Chinese dumpling that they adapted.
Okay. Yeah.
If you search where are gyozas from, though, it's China.
What if I search where's Gyoza from?
It's China.
All right, 5 more games, 10 more teams to throw on the board. It's Houston. No lineup just yet. Houston versus the Angels. May or may not be the last start of the career for Kyle Hendricks. We'll see. I think he's 35. Kyle Hendricks taking on the Astros. The Astros still alive. They got a pulse. They got a puncher's chance. They have a chance to potentially, get a wild card here. No lineup just yet for Houston. Angels is out. A lot of strikeout candidates. You're going to be shocked to learn that. Jason Alexander versus Hendricks. Where are you at as far as stacking with the Astros and the Halos?
I'm going to bump Astros up to same tier as the Braves. We're going to put them in Gyoza up there at the top. Very, very cheap today. Not that we really need it, but they're a very inexpensive stack. Angels, I honestly have no interest in with that righty-heavy lineup that they have.
All right, so we got the Astros and the Braves. We have 2 teams now in Gyoza. Still the most popular tier is Dim Sum. Wonton's got 3 teams, and Matzo Balls has, not surprisingly, a lot of the usual suspects, Pittsburgh and the Marlins, along with the Rays and the Angels. Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood coming on in about 10-15 minutes or so for crunch time, as well as Cheap Neurologist Kevin Roth. You got Cheese and Beer. Beer's coming on as well. All right, 4 more games to go. D-backs, Padres, 7.5 total, pretty paltry number. Zach Gallen versus Yu Darvish. Padres are already officially in the playoffs. I don't know if they can change their positioning much. They can't get a bye for sure. Where do you want to put Arizona and San Diego?
Arizona, I'm a lot more interested in as a mini stack than a full stack. Not getting to much of them today outside of Corbin Carroll and Ketel Marte, who I'm getting a lot of. And so big fan of those 2 today, and not a big fan of the whole stack though. Padres, I like a little bit more. Again, I like them more as a mini stack. I want to play Tatis, Machado, and Merrill. I don't really want to play anybody else, but I do like the full stack a little bit more than Arizona, so I'll put them in tier 3. Dim Sum.
All right, San Diego in Dim Sum, and you're throwing Arizona in Vegetable. This is the end. This is the end of tiers. This is the end of tiers. For me, this is my last baseball show. Of course, we'll do basketball. We'll do basketball shows soon enough. I want to say the 22nd. You're not going to believe this, with Memphis already injured. Triple J is hurt. Zach Edey is hurt. What a bummer for Memphis. It seems like they're never
Jared
healthy.
McCain got hurt for the 76ers too.
He has a thumb. Yeah, was that something that was new? Because I know he had the leg before. I think it was the leg, and I don't know when the thumb happened, but
happened recently in a workout apparently.
And I saw Paul George said he can do everything except play basketball. Basically, I don't know if you saw his quote. He's like, I can do everything except contact. It's well, so you can't play basketball? Okay, you can't play basketball. Philly might be a mess again. And there is some positive speak on Embiid, but who knows? We'll see. As positive as it could be, I imagine. All right, but again,
Scoot Henderson tore his hamstring. I didn't see that.
Who did?
Scoot Henderson. Steve is saying.
Yeah, he's out for a couple months. They're saying, well, I guess today was the first day for media, I would imagine, for some teams. And, a lot of news drop coming in here. But again, a reminder.
The Van Fleet one from the other day, too.
Oh, what a huge bummer for Houston. I wonder how they're going to try to figure that out. If, because they have Shepard is an interesting piece if they want to move him to try to get a point guard. But interesting decision. Obviously, they got KD, and who knows how much life he's got left in him. He's been good, but barely stays, going to be tricky to stay healthy, and they certainly don't want to run him into the ground. But yeah, again, a reminder, this is the end. This is the end of baseball for me. Okay, 3 more games to go. It's the Dodgers and the Mariners. No Dodgers lineup just yet. Emma Sheehan taking on George Kirby. We've already discussed this. We speculated this. Seattle is a minus 132 favorite. We're thinking Dodgers clinched yesterday. They got a little thirsty. They're having a good time. Probably rolling out some nonsense today. We'll see. We don't know just yet. But in Seattle, big dumper. He's going for 61, possibly 62. Take over Roger Maris. Maris sitting at 61 in the American League. 60 homers, of course, if you're not aware. Where do you want to put LA and Seattle?
Can we save this game for last?
Oh, you're waiting for a Dodger lineup?
Yeah, I would just honestly really because the Dodgers are tier 2 to 3 or a tier 5 probably.
You can get a bunch of cheap Dodgers. I don't know how useful that is, but you might get a bunch of cheap Dodgers. But like Tommy Edman leading off or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I want that necessarily, but yeah. Well, the funny thing is the last game, there's also no lineups for San Fran. Well, we kind of know what's happening, I guess, with San Fran and Colorado, even though they're both kind of playing out the string. But if you want to put it on pause, we can put it on pause and talk about the Royals and the Athletics. 10.5 total. It's Noah Cameron throwing baseballs against Mason Barnett. Both these teams, team total above 5. Attempts closing in on 90. 87 I'm seeing right now on the RG page. Slight wind blowing out towards left field. Positive hitting environment. Big ballpark jump for Kansas City. Locked in for 9 against Barnett and whatever nonsense comes in behind him. So that's why the Royals, one last time, are going to – it's going to be pain, man. It's going to be – what's that? When has stacking the Royals ever gone wrong? Oh, wait, every time. I think most every time. Yeah, Kansas City, Athletics, what do you got?
Yeah, I think both of these teams are actually going to be up in tier 1 just because we are not seeing many of these not seeing many games that are still hot with wind blowing out like we get basically any time at games in Sacramento. Plus, we got the small ballpark. I really like both of these teams tonight. I think they're both up in Gyoza. And like you said, Royals always let us down. Noah Cameron always just seems tough to get to stack against. Like he always seems to pull something out of his butt and pull together good games whenever he's in tough matchups. But both these teams, I think, are up in tier 1.
TJ giving big time bonus clues in the Discord channel for today's Film Friday. We don't have a winner just yet, but you're just telling them, TJ. I mean, I told them too. You're just telling them also.
Well, the funny thing is you told them, but everybody had guessed their 5th guess already. And so everybody's just sitting there like, am I allowed to guess another time? And so nobody was actually just saying it. Now we had a whole bunch of people getting it. I'm going to try and see if there's anybody who hadn't guessed yet. And it, which one was that from?
I was just trying to see who was paying attention. And like subliminally, I was just putting it in their head, somebody's head, that see who was actually listening. Oh, did somebody guess it previously?
Rocky Raccoon says they guessed it way earlier. Let me do some scrolling, Rocky Raccoon. Did we miss you?
Oh boy, that's my bad.
In the YouTube chat?
I don't know. We got to go ahead and check. We got to check the records. We got to do like a search. It's a whole thing. But are you on top of that, TJ? Can you multitask? I'm scrolling up and I don't see it.
I'm attempting, but I don't see it either.
Give us a timestamp, Rocky Raccoon.
Timestamp. Reply to your own comment. Show us where you guessed it because I don't see it anywhere.
Gray Bill is adding you and showing you where Rocky Raccoon did say it. So not that we're ever doubting the Raccoon, but apparently it was
4
said.
PM. There it is. I don't know how we missed that, but
so 9 minutes ago, somebody said it. Okay, my bad. We both missed it.
Right before I said the answer too. There you go. Shout out Rocky Raccoon with the victory.
All right, we'll give some clarity to that in just a second, but you put the Royals up there in Gyoza as well as the Athletics, both teams in tier 1. Rockies, Giants, Herman Marquez. He probably is thrilled that he gets to go on vacation and to stop getting his face punched in. He's in San Fran, but he's also been really bad on the road this year too. San Fran's got a team total above 5. No lineups just yet. Devers looks like an incredible play. An interesting spend up at a first base position that's pretty good. I think you can play him 3rd on FanDuel for what it's worth. But yeah, where do you want to put the Rockies and the Giants?
Rocky's gonna put them. I'm not gonna put them all the way in the bottom just because they are playing. Screw it. Yeah, I am. They suck. I don't want to play the Rockies today. I'm gonna maybe get like a couple lineups in 150 because I'm playing 150 lineups, but not a big fan of the Rockies today. There's the Giants. We're gonna put the Giants all the way up in Gyoza, tier 1 for them today. Tier 1's very stretched out, and I think I actually am going to pull down the Braves from that tier, drop them down to the second one. But there we are. A's and Giants Giants up in the top tier, along with Houston, the Athletics, and the Royals.
We did give away a week free of RG Premium, but you can just go ahead and buy it too. I'm sorry if you didn't. Everybody can't win. If you're looking to get NFL DFS, of course, NFL in full swing right now. We're in week 4. Why not get more bang for your buck? Combo Pro, the Combo Pro deal we have right now. It is for NFL. I think it's $75 for NFL, if I'm not mistaken, $75. Combo Pro, $79 and change. It's less than $5 more. You get all the sports, football, baseball. That's college football too. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NBA, PGA, WNBA, LOL, MMA, everything with the exception of NASCAR. NASCAR is a la carte, but check out the link in the description. You see the visual on the screen as well. The link in the description on the YouTube. Also hit that like button and subscribe. And hit that like button so we get more Spidey Bombs. I don't know if we have any more Spidey Bombs on layaway. I think we do. Are we in line for another Spidey Bomb, TJ?
Let me do a little refresh, see what we got here. We need 75 likes for Spidey Bomb 2. We are only at 60. We got well over 200 people watching those, so we should be able to get up to 100 likes, people. Come on, keep hitting that like button for Spidey Bomb number 2.
You tried to delay as long as possible, understandably so, but we don't have a Dodger lineup. This is the last game on the board, TJ. George Kirby throwing baseballs against Emin Sheehan. We're expecting something weird from LA. You might actually get a real lineup, and they're probably like not going to get played. You might actually get Ohtani and Betts and those guys. Now, maybe they don't play a full 9 either, so I'm not sure. It seems like a weird thing to do. They're probably going to play at least one of these games over the weekend. Where do you want to put the Dodgers and the Mariners?
We're going to do Dodgers tier 3 because even if we do get the fully fledged Dodger lineup today, it is still George Kirby they're facing off against. Not like they're in some absolutely incredible spot. And then on the other side of this game, I'm just not overly interested in pitching against Sheehan. Like, Seattle is very good, but I mostly just want to play Cal Raleigh. So I'm going to put them in the vegetable tier.
All right, let me recap the board for the people. If you missed it today, of course, everybody knows this. Everybody's been celebrating throughout the day in their own particular way, but it's National Dumpling Day, so I power ranked dumplings, different kind of dumplings. We have Gyoza tier 1, 4 teams up there. It's the Giants, Kansas City, the Athletics, and the Astros. Tier 2 is Wonton. That's TJ's Blue Jays, Cleveland, Milwaukee, and the Braves. The most popular tier is Dim Sum. Tier 3, Yankees, Baltimore, Mets, Boston, Detroit, Cincinnati, San Diego, and the Dodgers. Vegetable dumplings, that's Texas, Seattle, Arizona. That's tier 4. Tier 5, matzo balls. That is the Marlins, Tampa, Pittsburgh, all the usual suspects. Colorado. This is like all season long. And the Angels, too. That's basically the way it's been. Maybe the Angels had a few moments outside of tier 5, but that is a recap of your board. I know Crunch Time's coming in here momentarily, TJ. Give me a heads up when they're in. I believe they're not fully assembled just
They're
yet.
now fully assembled. They've sort of been here for a while, but Roth was gone. Now he's chewing something. It looks tasty. Maybe it's a dumpling.
Maybe it's Roth is celebrating.
Yeah, but we're ready to rock now. We got them all here and good to go.
Let's do it. Let's seamlessly segue to Crunch Time right now. Is Roth actually munching on a dumpling? Just a coincidence? Were you celebrating national?
Not a chance. Not a chance. Roth's not a dumpling guy.
He's a dim sum guy. Roth definitely likes some dim sum.
I'll dabble. I'll dabble in the dim sum. What was the board? I was confused what the board was there.
Favorite
dumplings. Different kind of dumplings, like a gyoza, wonton, dim sum, vegetable, matzo balls.
It's another national day.
According to the article I pulled up, matzo balls are dumplings.
Debatable. I've had a lot of matzo ball soup in my life. I've dated like 5 Jewish girls. A lot of matzo ball soup in my life.
Are you a fan?
No, it's terrible.
It's got no ceiling. There's no ceiling.
It's not good at all. Very bad. No,
yeah, something had to be 5, and that's I've only had it like once or twice, and it wasn't very good. And that's it. Small sample, but you're telling me bigger sample, nothing changes. It's not great.
I've had a lot of matzo ball soup. No good ones.
Yeah, Dave, do you have any dumpling takes?
I didn't know there were even 5 kinds. I didn't know you could even make a board.
Well, there's pierogies, like empanadas. There's other. If you expand, you think about it a little bit more broader.
Maybe I need to think about it hard. To me, a dumpling is essentially like one thing. Maybe
pot sticker.
So that's all I think of is just your basic pot sticker, which is good. And I'm so glad you didn't ask me to make that board. It would have been just one thing listed 5 times.
Dumpling.
Well, that's
dumpling. Let's put them
in Dylon dumpling. Yeah. Beer, you have a dumpling take?
Pierogies are easily
Thank you.
the best. Like, it's not even it should be pierogies and nothing else even on the list.
Yeah.
And I want to say National Pirate Day last Friday. A lot more exciting than National Dumpling Day. I mean,
I don't make
again,
the holidays.
I'll read
I
you're
just
calling it a
National Pirates
holiday.
Day? That sounds fun.
This is a holiday, dude.
I mean, it's I did air quotes. I don't know if you saw. I might have did them off screen, but yeah. I did want to say it is officially the last day. Although we didn't actually give the answer, TJ. Let's tell the people how we got to. My apologies to eat into crunch time. But today's film, Boys, Bride, Slap, Party, Survive. We also said the answer verbally multiple times. Boys was in reference to the end of the movie when they wished for the Backstreet Boys to sing out of nowhere. Backstreet Boys did close out the movie. Bride is in reference to the great Danny McBride, who's a co-star. Famously, there's a famous scene in this movie where somebody got slapped. I think 2 people got slapped, right? Michael Cera slapped Rihanna, and Rihanna slapped him back right in the face. For real, by the way. He had to go to the hospital. That actually happened. Clue number 4 was Party. This movie takes place at James Franco's house. He's having a housewarming party. Survive. They're all trying to survive. This, of course, is the end, because this is the end of MLB DFS for the regular season. I know it's going to be a Saturday show, but, during the week. It's the end for me, if nothing else. Speaking of, by the way, shout out, Dave. I just want to say your article. It's amazing. I still am impressed. You can knock out what you do 5 days a week for 6 months. You can exhale after this show, I guess. Shout out to you.
Yeah. In about an hour. Yeah. Go eat a bunch of dumplings. I'm on the Wikipedia list of dumplings page, and now I feel like my off season is filled now. I'm not going to taste them all, but I'm just going to learn about them.
There you go. And Kevin, just today, I slid into Kevin's DMs and hooked me up with the Cubs. I was looking at Weather Edge, and I'm like, how real is this number? Because the Cubs was popping, and there was, for some reason, the total was 8.5 or 9, depending on where you're shopping with the Cubs today. I think there was 4 homers in that game, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to the Roth and shout out to Weather Edge. So there you go. But TJ, you got anything else before I step aside and get out of here and make way for crunch time?
No, we got crunch time is my 5th show of the day, and it's the first one that I'm not on camera for. So I'm looking forward to kicking myself out of here and then just leaning back and listening to these guys.
All right. I'm going to step aside and get out of here and make way. You all got plenty of time to knock out tonight's 12 gamer. But for TJ, I was Dean. Basketball coming soon. Football, of course, this weekend. Roth, take it away.
Good stuff, as always, and congrats to Dean and to the rest of the hosts on a wonderful season thus far. We mentioned still do have weekend shows ongoing, and it is fun. This is my final show. Getting to close it out with a couple OGs. Some of my old friends have been at it for decades. Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood. Maybe not decades, plural, but like at
combined,
least combined.
I mean,
like
it sounded bad when you said it. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, I didn't mean to make you sound that old. Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood in the house. What up, Cheese?
Remember me for centuries. It's been centuries that we've been doing this. This is a great slate to end on. Actually, I love it. It's one of those slates where almost every single pitcher is exactly the same guy. It's remarkable, which leaves everything very wide open with just a minimal amount of chalk. And I like it.
Okay. Cash your plus 12,000 tickets if you had Dave Potts making a Fall Out Boy reference right off the top of the show.
So true story. Someone in here will remember this. It was a couple of years ago. The FanDuel Live Final, baseball Live Final, was in Philadelphia, and they had Philly Fan Fest, and Fall Out Boy was the concert. I remember I was with
I'm so jealous.
Nerdy Tenor watching Fall Out Boy. Like, that was otherworldly weird.
Yeah.
That was the least Fall Out Boy crowd of all time, but we all seem to enjoy it.
I would have been going crazy when I was in Chicago for the Live Final and they did the Fan Fest thing. It was Wiz Khalifa.
Oh,
which is weird. He's a Pittsburgh guy, but yeah, he was there. He was our concert for the Fan Fest.
I'm down with the Wiz. This was just for the FanDuel Live finalists. It was a Fall Out Boy.
No, it was a FanDuel Fan Fest. For everyone in Philadelphia.
Okay.
So they open up the stadium and it's a paid event. And then as the people attending the live final, you're like a VIP for it. So you get to go to
you get to go in this fancy little table and stuff.
Yeah, do all the games without waiting in line.
Okay, well, that sounds pretty lovely. And it makes the Fall Out Boy tie-in just perfect. Hey, we got beer in the house as well. Speaking of OGs in the industry, Bringing you the 6-pack all the time. What's up, Beer? How are you?
I'm good, brother. Partially sad baseball's wrapping up, and partially like, okay, it's been a long grind of baseball. Give us a couple weeks of football before basketball and hockey gets started. So it's a little both. But Friday night baseball, always fun. I agree with Cheese. I think it's a fun slate. I think there's a lot of different things you can do here. Pitching is not like super exciting, but I think there are some options that have some nice upside that may go overlooked. So it's a fun slate, and happy to be here, hanging with my boys and talking to the peeps out there, getting those lineups set.
Very well. Okay, well, we will do exactly that. Dean says, by the way, shout out to Beer for all of the MLB 6-packs. Already, Eric wants to know if Marquez is the beast of the night. It's Eric, so I'm assuming the answer is no.
He nailed it. How did he know?
Yeah.
Of course he is. Who's not playing German Marquez tonight? Come on.
All right, let's talk about the slate. Let's talk about the weather concern. And I'll say, because there's only one game where you could see anything. It's Atlanta. It's a chance of a delay. This morning, it looked like a chance of big storms, and now it just looks like a typical kind of chance of a delay. I'm much less concerned. Fully on board with bats, and I think if you even want to roll pitchers there, I wouldn't call you crazy, but it's literally the only thing that could go wrong on the whole slate is pitchers in Atlanta. So keep that in mind if that is the direction you want to go. Let's talk about some of the other pitchers. Beer, I'm going to let you lead us off. I feel like I'm looking a little foggy, so I'm going to give this a little spit shine while you do that. If you get a peep show under the shirt, don't mind me. Beer, go ahead and talk to me about pitcher.
Well, now you got me distracted, Ross. How am I gonna talk pitchers and you're over there flashing everybody? So
Best show of all time, right here.
It's a like button for Roth's nipples.
just turn the camera off and do what you got to do.
I should have thought of that. And then, well, now
All
it's fixed. I obviously
Right.
should have done that.
You look much less foggy now. So the pitching a little foggy tonight. So Dave seems to be a little bit more optimistic. So for me up top, Shane Bieber's probably my favorite. I like the matchup here for him with the Rays. He's just the strikeouts are much higher against left-handed hitters. He's going to 6 of them tonight. So it's not the greatest matchup, but I do like that spot for him with all those lefties in that lineup. 33% strikeout rate against lefties this season. So I think he's a fine spend up. I like Sheehan tonight. He gets a nice pitcher's park here in Seattle. There's a lot of numbers show the Seattle offense much better away from home than at home. Makes sense. You kind of suppress some of the run scoring and the big bombs in this park. So this guy's the ceiling is incredible. I mean, 3 of his last 5 have gone over 30 DraftKings points. So I don't know that we can say that about anybody else on the slate. So he's right there as well. Again, matchup there, not great, but that kind of upside, I think he should certainly be in your player pool. Noah Cameron, a guy that I'm going to roll out there, and he's probably the one that's going to be low owned. It seems like everybody likes the A's tonight, and it makes sense against a lefty in that ballpark. But this guy, 24 more DraftKings points, and he's done it against some great offenses: Toronto, Cleveland, Philadelphia. The A's aren't quite to that level, in my opinion. So I think he's very interesting tonight as a low-owned option, maybe an SP2. And I think we have some decent value tonight. Jason Alexander gets a great strikeout matchup with the Angels. This guy's got 5 starts of 6 or more strikeouts. So not going to go out there and get you 9 or 10, but at this price, if he can get us 6 strikeouts, I think he's perfectly in play as well. And then Joey Wentz, the other value I like tonight against the Pirates. 5 of those Pirates bats, 24% or higher strikeout rate against left-handed pitching. So that's basically my pool, Roth. Bieber and Sheehan up top. Cameron kind of low-owned in the mid-range. Alexander, Wentz for value. Yu Darvish, a guy I am out on tonight. I don't like the matchup for him in this spot. A lot of lefties in that lineup, and his strikeout rate's just not been there against lefties. So that is my pitching pool for tonight. But really like Sheehan, really like Cameron as an off-the-radar play.
Okay, very good. Cheese, it seems like there's at least a lot of possible choices. I don't know how much we like them, but there were a lot of names Beer spit out.
Right, and I don't even think he began to scratch the surface of how many names I think you play. Like what I said at the beginning, I don't like the pitching slate, but I think there's like 20 pitchers on this slate that are almost the same guy. None of them are great, though. That's the thing. But they're all the same. Like, and the 2 guys that Beer seems to like the best aren't even in my pool at all.
Wow.
And that's what the slate is. Emmett Sheehan and Noah Cameron. Emmett Sheehan, my only issue is I just don't trust that they're going to let him pitch. It's a total guess. You know the way the Dodgers handle their pitchers.
Oh yeah, it's a concern
And
for sure.
They should let him pitch because he's got full rest or more before they need him in the playoffs. So if it were me, I would just let him pitch. I just don't trust the Dodgers to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason I'm not playing him. Noah Cameron, I actually think is fine for an off the radar, very low owned play. But I prefer my low owned plays cheaper. The Bieber is the one I'm torn on. Like he's the very obvious SP1. He's the chalk. I don't actually think he's better than in any of these other 20 pitchers. Maybe a little bit. And we don't really need salary that much, but I like guys who are $3,000 or $4,000 cheaper than him, essentially the same. Like, so he scores 18, or I can get Joey Wentz scoring 16 for $3,800 cheaper. Like, I'm mostly just going cheaper. Other names in the mid tier that I have just a skosh of are Quinn Priester and Slade Caccione. Basically, Priester and Caccione I'm playing versus Sheehan and Cameron, that Beer said. But again, they're all the same guy. So you choose whoever you want out of this pool. And then cheaper. So he mentioned Joey Wentz and Jason. Did you mention Jason Alexander?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I like Wentz and Alexander a lot. Both mostly for the matchup. I mean, they're the Pirates and the Angels. Like these are teams you want to play against. And then if we're talking matchup and salary, we have to talk about a 4K pitcher against the Rockies. It doesn't matter who he is. He's 4K and he's facing the Rockies and he is currently alive.
Is he getting full run or is he 4K and he's only getting an inning and a half?
No, he's a full starter. Full starter.
Yeah,
he threw 90 pitches in 6 quality innings against the Dodgers last week.
I'm intrigued.
I think the weird thing about this is if you play him, even with Bieber, it's hard to spend all your salary. So I don't even think he's popular. On a different slate, if we had like must play Yankees and these kind of things, he would be like a 40% owned guy. But tonight, you don't really need him. But he is one of the 20 pitchers that I think is as good as any of these other 20 pitchers. I don't think we have no idea. He's made one career start, and I don't think he's great. But I think he scores 12 points and Bieber scores 18. He's $4,000. So just give me him.
Yeah.
The other guy that I really like because he's flat out good is Sandy Alcantara.
Yeah.
Especially in the Mets, which you don't love, but he has been 100% old Sandy recently. And he's been the last month and a half, arguably I don't want to say the best pitcher in the league because Trevor Rogers, who we're not playing again tonight, is the best pitcher in the world. But Sandy, his last whatever, I'm reading the game log, 25, 29, 10, 28, 22, 32, 23. Those are his DraftKings scores. He's back and he's still cheap. So essentially, I have very little of anyone over $7,000 on DK. It's Alcantara, Alexander, Wentz, and McDonald. That's the bulk of my pool. I do have some Bieber for sure and some of these other guys, but I just like the cheap stuff essentially as much.
Yeah. Any Zach Gallen love? Is he kind of in that list of one of the 20 dudes who's perfectly acceptable?
He is one of the 20 dudes who's the same pitcher as all these other guys. I didn't end up getting there. He is facing the Padres. And I don't want to try to play all 20 of them, which is why I'm not playing Cameron or Sheehan or Gallen. But yes, he is another one who is the same as all these other guys.
Yeah. And then I want to talk FanDuel real quick. It seems like, I don't know, money's not really a concern. Just play whoever you want.
Well, yeah. So on FanDuel, it's much harder not to play the Bieber chalk. Okay. So he's only 9,400 and you essentially don't need salary. And the cheaper stuff, other than McDonald, who I don't think is as good of a play on FanDuel because you really don't need the salary. The other cheap guys are like $8,000. So on DraftKings, we're saving like $2,800 with Alcantara or $3,300 with Alexander. On FanDuel, you're saving like $1,000. So I'm much more on board with just playing Bieber there.
Yeah.
And I'm
Beer, any
I'm
FanDuel
I'm
thoughts?
Sheehan on FanDuel over Bieber. You know, you're probably going to get him at half the ownership. So, and I don't mind McDonald there. Like, you don't need it, but it's really going to open up anything you want. I mean, if you wanted to play, Ohtani's of the world, or you want to take a shot on Judge, whatever it may be, that's going to open things up. So I think Sheehan if you're spending, McDonald if you're saving, and Joey Wentz in between.
Okay. Very good. I want to talk about the bats and the stacks because it seems like we can probably do whatever the hell we want money-wise, which is fun. Quick shout out to Flying Armbar who says, "What's up, fellas? Just came over to pop in and say hello. Good luck and get those likes up. Hit the like or take a hike. You know the drill. You don't actually have to take a hike, but we'd appreciate it. It's a free show after all. Cheese, let's talk about the stacks. What do you got? Who we stacking up with all the money in the world?"
Yeah, the problem is the expensive stacks are not in the greatest spots because again, all these pitchers are pretty good. I think the only two stacks where ownership might matter is the Royals, who I think are definitely the chalk, and then kind of the Astros because they're still cheap, although you don't really need the salary. So I'm not even sure they'll be that chalky. I think it's basically the Royals are the chalk and then play whatever you want. I still like the Royals. I'm not just fading them. But the other teams I like are Giants, Blue Jays. Who am I missing? Braves.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of other okay things, but it's much less play whoever you want with the bats and more play whoever you want with the pitchers. It's a very unusual slate.
Yeah. Beer,
Play
you got
wherever
all
you
the money
want.
in the world. Play wherever you want. Sorry, I keep talking over Blender. Let me pause for Blender.
Play wherever you want.
Thank you.
Best,
Beer,
best
what do you
line,
do?
Best line ever. I mean,
It's so
play
good.
whoever you want. It's a lot of similar stacks. That Kansas City again, I think will easily be the chalk here, but I think they're in a clear spot. I think Bobby Witt is the top bat on the slate, so I would get some access there. I have Atlanta number 2, Giants 3. I'm going to add Boston here as my 4, Houston 5, and Toronto 6. So we're on a lot of the same stacks here. As far as sneaky goes, I don't know that Boston's going to have a ton of ownership. So they're interesting. Toronto shouldn't carry a ton of ownership. And I'll add one more. I do think the Dodgers could be sneaky here. Anytime you can stack up the Dodgers, I know it's not a great matchup, but you get them at 1-2%. We know the upside in that offense, so keep them on your radar as well.
We just got the Dodgers lineup. This is what we've been waiting for all day to see how nonsense do they go. Ohtani's in. There's no Freeman, no Muncy.
Okay.
It's definitely watered down, but it's not like nobody's. It's Ohtani, Pajes, Conforto, Teoscar, and then kind of nothing. So
Is it concerning to see some of the guys out where you think maybe Ohtani's only getting 1 or 2 at bats, or you think that these guys are going to play a normal game, Cheese?
I would say this is who plays tonight, and tomorrow they flip it and Ohtani's out and Freeman's in. That's how
that
I
makes sense.
guess they
that
do
makes
it.
sense. Okay. Very good. I kind of cut you off there, Beer. I'm sorry. Were there any other teams you wanted to add in?
No, we gave you the 6. The Dodgers, I said, sneaky. I don't love it as much with some of them bats out of the lineup, but some of those cheap bats can help negate some of the costs of Shohei. So I still think it's a viable dart throw on them in your tournaments. But Kansas City, the top one, and again, Boston, Toronto, my 2 lower owned stacks, I think are in good spots tonight.
Yeah. Okay. I'm liking some of the comments in the chat. Tasteful Tides, my guy, says, shout out Roth. For another year of amazing forecasting, the DFS community owes him a few beers. I'll take you up on that. Alex says, send him a case of Pacifico. Yeah, I'm about that life. Let's see what we got going on here around the horn, position by position. We'll give some home run calls. We'll answer your questions as well. But Beer, let's start with a little catcher talk.
So as much as I like Noah Cameron, Langeliers is the top catcher and the main bat in that lineup I'd be worried about against a lefty. I mean, the numbers just jump off the page for this guy against left-handed pitching. So he is my top play. If you don't get there, and I don't think you're going to have a problem getting some premium bats in your lineup. So this is a great night to spend on a guy like that. There are some good values, though. I like Drake Baldwin tonight against Keller. I think Sal Perez is in a great spot against the A's tonight. And then Carter Jensen down the lineup a little bit, but solid value with some upside in that Royals lineup. So that's pretty much the pool. But I think Langlier's a good spend up on the slate tonight.
Yeah. Cheese, your thoughts?
Yeah, another day, no one will play the best baseball player in the history of the world. He is facing Emmett Sheehan, but again, I don't really trust that Sheehan's going to get a full game. So I do love Cal Raleigh at no ownership again. 60 home runs was not enough for people to start playing him. Maybe tomorrow after 62, maybe we'll see what happens. I don't know. But assuming you don't have that money, or if you just don't want to play against Sheehan and think he's going to pitch the whole game, then yeah, Langoliers is next. Sal Perez is the very good chalk in the mid-tier. I do like Jensen instead of Perez in a few stacks. And I like Drake Baldwin.
Yeah. Let's go to first.
So I love Devers, and I think that Vinny Pasquantino will be enough more popular that I'm not worried about Devers' ownership. Like, those two guys should be the chalk. But I think because the Royals are kind of the chalk and Vinny is cheaper, I think you can a little more safely play Devers. But I do love Matt Olson as a pivot to be a little different off those two chalky guys. Totally fine to play some Ohtani on DraftKings now. I'm going to have to adjust things. I didn't play any Dodgers anywhere because I just knew I didn't know until we saw the lineup. I am going to make sure I get something from Ohtani. And then as far as cheaper than Pasquantino, I think Christian Walker is probably the most popular. He's only a little bit cheaper, but if it matters, that's fine. You can go down to like Andrew Vaughn at just a couple bucks cheaper than that. I've got Bryce Eldridge here and there. I don't like that you can't play Eldridge and Devers in the same DraftKings lineup. And I think that's about it.
Okay. Beer, your thoughts there at first?
Like he talked about with Raleigh, I think it's a great night to get Shohei in there. You know the risk. I mean, he may only get a limited at-bats, but anytime I can get Shohei Ohtani under 5%, I'm certainly interested, especially on a night where we have all the salary. I'm shocked to see him. And maybe that number trends up as we get closer to lock. I don't know that he's going to be 4%, but he's a guy I agree on the Devers call. He's probably my favorite if you don't get two Shohei. I have Olson up next, Pasquantino on my list, and Christian Walker. So Cheese and I pretty much in lockstep there. But if you don't want to eat the Vinny chalk, fine with going with a Devers, a Olson, or a Walker a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, it is Fettuccine Friday, which means Vinny P, of course, gets a boost. I think he hit one on Thin Spaghetti Thursday, right? Didn't he go yard yesterday?
That happened, yeah.
That was Thin Spaghetti Thursday, which is really a stretch. It's the only one we struggle with. But he went yard, and it's Fettuccine Friday. It's a no-doubter. Beer, let's go to second base.
Second base, Ketel Marte is always in my pool. Tonight against Yu Darvish, no different. So he is my favorite. I like Gleyber Torres in this matchup with Harrison. I think Altuve's in a good spot. And then my cheaper play tonight will be Bryce Terang against Zach Littell. So a little beefier here at second than normal. We've had some shows where it's pretty ugly. Not a lot of great options. I think tonight you have options at all different price points. But I think Ketel Marte, pretty good spend tonight. And I don't think he's going to see a ton of ownership.
Okay. All right, Cheese, before we get your thoughts at second, we had someone question the weather in Atlanta. And Alex knows that the weather at Cheese's house. So could you just point out that, is it storming at your house currently?
Yeah, no. So the weather just goes straight up I-85 from here. It's beautiful. 2 hours from now, you're 100% clear for sure.
There you
just
go.
From that peek out the window.
That's all you need. No meteorologists, weather models, all this nonsense. Just look out the window.
Just look out the window, baby.
It's that easy. Cheese, what do you got at second?
Yeah, sure. I have so much Ketel Marte because, again, I have all the salary in the world. Like, I like the cheap pitchers essentially as much as the expensive pitchers. So even if it's close, like, I would just go cheap pitcher and play Marte. I also like a little bit of Brandon Lau. Kind of like I've mentioned, I'm not scared of Shane Bieber. Like, maybe he's the best pitcher on this slate, but this is not an elite pitcher. So I'm spending up in the mid tier. Altuve is fine. Gleyber Torres is fine, but I prefer Bryce Terang and Romy Gonzalez in that range. And that's really my pool. I love that I don't have to go cheap at second because of what I'm doing at pitching.
Yeah. Okay. That brings us to third base, Cheese.
So on FanDuel, you can play Devers at third. Of course, Matt Chapman, who is kind of the chalk on DraftKings, is third as well. So I don't know if that helps you or not on FanDuel, but I do like both the Giants. Which reminds me to say that on FanDuel, in addition to Lau being cheap, Michael Garcia is a second baseman, so that's useful over there. Once again, I have all the money in the world, so I'm playing Jose Ramirez against Jack Leiter as a one-off. Cleveland stacks are on the board somewhere, but I think I have one or two of them. But essentially, Chapman, Garcia, spend up to Ramirez, and then go off the board with Junior Caminero, who's definitely going to homer off Shane Bieber.
Okay, I like it. Beer, your thoughts there at third base, please.
Some different names here for me. I like Alex Bregman against Casey Mize. Again, I think Boston a sneaky stack in that game. The Tigers just falling apart here, so I think it's going to continue tonight with Boston. I like Paredes against Hendricks tonight. Hendricks always a guy that I'm willing to target. I agree on the Chapman call, and then I'll add in Addison Barger as well. I think he's in a good spot against Hauser.
Did get a question on second about Jomani Jones. They moved him to the leadoff versus Harris. Also, isn't Jomani Jones, wasn't he like on Around the Horn or one of those shows?
You're thinking it was like Bomani Jones.
Was it Bomani? Yeah. Okay. That is what I was
had the
thinking.
Same initial thought. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
no, that was like Bomani Jones.
Yeah, you're right.
So
Okay.
Jones is a second base on FanDuel.
Yep.
And he's cheap, but everyone's cheap on FanDuel. So I still prefer Torres over him. Even if you're on the Tigers, and I prefer Michael Garcia over him.
Yeah.
But sure. I mean, he's fine.
Yeah. Okay. I forget where we were at. I think we were at third base with Beer, maybe.
Nope, just
That's
did
what
that.
we
We can
did.
go
Yeah.
to shortstop, and Bobby Witt is to me one of the best bats, if not the best bat on the slate tonight. So he's going to be popular, but we can get different in some other spots. So give you some low end plays at every other position. So he is a priority for me tonight. I think Gunnar Henderson, if you can't quite get to Bobby Witt's in a great spot against Will Warren. Willie Adames on my list here, along with Trevor Story, but it's mostly Bobby Witt. I know he's going to be 17%. I think he should be 25, 30% on this slate. So Bobby Witt, a high priority for me.
Cheese, you've got all the money. I'm assuming you got all the wit.
Yeah. And I want to say that in smaller field stuff, like single entry stuff, I think we'll see 40% Witt.
Yeah.
Like it's a concern. He'll be the highest owned player on the slate by a lot for sure. But there's still a lot of ways.
Whose adorable dog is like
that? So that means
little barks.
that Lizzie is taking a nap. Those are her little nightmares.
Chasing
I think they're
rabbits.
happy
She's like
dreams. Yeah,
doing that.
exactly.
Yeah, little puppy dreams. All right.
So that's very much she's right here sleeping.
Really cute. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, Bobby Witt is the best player on the slate and the most popular player on the slate. So if you want to be different, which is fine, there are great players at no ownership because they have tougher matchups. But they're not like, again, there is no unbelievable pitcher that you can't possibly play against. So sure, play a little Lindor or Ellie De La Cruz at no ownership. I think Adames and Story are my two favorite pivots, but all those guys are fine to be different.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the outfield, Cheese.
I don't love it. I am very scared, obviously, to have zero Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
I mean, but there are numbers that exist that are as facts, and the fact is Trevor Rogers is the best pitcher in the world. Just the pitcher's job is not to give up runs. Nobody gives up runs less than Trevor Rogers. He has the lowest ERA in the league. Of course, there's a lot of things that go into that. No, he's not actually the best pitcher in the league. But boy, I mean, how can you really play against this guy? Like, he never does anything other than be awesome. So I don't have Yankees. For the record, I have one Yankee stack in MME, just because those are the rules, and they're still the Yankees. They could break slate in 2 innings against the bullpen.
Trevor Rogers, 3 home runs allowed all season.
That's insane.
Yeah, like
I mean,
what are we even doing? Yeah,
it's Judge, I get it, but 3 home runs all season long. So
yeah,
take that for what it's worth.
yeah. So Judge, I don't have Judge. I don't have Soto. I'll try to go. Like I said, I'm going to go back and get a little Ohtani, but I still won't have much. To me, the spend ups that I like are Acuna and Carroll. I don't have a ton of them because I like the infield spend ups a little better, but those are my 2 favorite. If I have salary, I'm okay with a little Yelich. Mid tier, a little bit of Brent Rooker, a little bit of Dalton Varsho. On the cheaper side, I like Yasser Badewski, Helio Ramos, Michael Harris. Most of the really cheap stuff is just in stacks because, again, I just don't really need the money. But like you could play Caglianone. You could play Zach Cole. You could play Jock Peterson. They're there if you need them, but I mostly don't.
Okay, Beer, outfield.
Normally a spend up premium spot, but I agree. I think there's some decent guys in the mid range where you can spend up on the Wits, on the Martes, on catcher Raleigh Langeliers. So if I'm spending, it is going to be Corbin Carroll. I agree on Acuna. I'll add Jerks and Profar to that. Christian Yelich are all fine in that range. Duran against Casey Mize, I think, is in a good spot. I agree on Dalton Varsho. I think he's a solid play. Jacob Marcy is in a good spot, and there's plenty of value. Michael Harris, Jemani Jones, Dylan Beavers, all solid value plays. I had Jesus Sanchez on my list as well, but he is not in the lineup tonight. But that's 3 guys there under 4K if you're struggling again. Beavers, Jemani Jones, and Michael Harris.
Yeah. Very good. The people want some home run calls. They're always clamoring for that. Make sure you hit the like, and we can get you some of those calls. Cheese, we like to give somebody up here, somebody around here, and somebody down in the dumpster bin. The dumpster bin? The discount bin? What's the word I'm looking for?
I like discount bin a little better than dumpster bin.
Dumpster bin doesn't make sense, I don't think.
Not
anyways,
as you want it to. Yeah.
It's late in the year, man. It's the last shit. It's been 6 months. I want a damn cheapie, Cheese. That's what I need. I need a cheapie.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Let's just go way off the board. Start with the random cheapie that I didn't even expect to be in the lineup until I saw it 5 minutes ago. Grant McCray, home run.
Mm-hmm.
Mid tier there's a lot of mid tier and spend up homers. How about we say Dalton Varsho, mid tier, and spend up. After Cardi's hot takes, Raleigh and Judge both homer the other night. I'll go with Raleigh tonight since we can do that.
That's allowed.
Yeah.
Anthony says, "Hey Kevin, are you still doing baseball weather for the playoffs?" Absolutely. I will forecast for every single game until the season is completely done, and also college football, NFL, PGA, and occasionally NASCAR, but only when Stevie asks me for a NASCAR forecast. Beer, give me some home run calls. What do you got?
Bobby Witt, the easy one. So we'll get him out of the way. To get him at plus 280, though, which I thought was a pretty good price on him. A couple in the 5-1 range I like. Christian Yelich at plus 540 and Alex Bregman at plus 550. And I see in the chat, give me a 9-1. I don't have a 9-1. We'll give you one bonus here. Dylan Beavers at 8-1. So not quite where you're looking, but 8-1, not a bad return there.
Very nice. And who was it? It was Beavers?
Yep.
Okay.
Baltimore.
Yeah. All right. Very good. Gentlemen, we have 15 minutes until lock. That's a whole lot of time to kill. If you have any questions, it can be about baseball. It can be about football. It can be about the end of season, or it can be about dinner plans. Holy hell, I'm hungry. If it's about dinner plans, I might not make it the rest of the show. Just warning you. Roth, is the weather in Atlanta an issue for pitchers? It could be. It's not the type of weather pattern where I can time it out. Jeez. She says
it's beautiful out there, man.
Yes. It looks good in eastern Alabama.
Oh, why are they asking you, Roth? They should ask the guy that's going to look out his window. Come on.
Looks good out there by Cheese's house, and we know that is the rule. There's a chance for a delay. Maybe a 25% chance of it being over the ballpark, and that doesn't even mean that would necessarily interrupt the pitch rate. At any point in the game, maybe there's about a 25% chance of a delay. So it's not the safe move, but it probably works out. Let's go to D-Rock's question. DKGPP, Beer, Rogers or Sheehan, and leave the money on the table.
I'm still on Sheehan. I could see playing Rogers at nobody's going to want to play him against the Yankees. So in a tournament, I can sign off on that. I'm still going to go with Sheehan. I understand the risks with him, as we discussed in the opening, but that's the route I'm going to go. But Rogers, fine with it. If it's going to be super low, nobody's on it. That's what you want in a tournament.
Yeah. I want to get some more questions answered, but also I want to give the people the best deal in the industry. Surprise, surprise, right here at RotoGrinders. If you're looking to get some NFL DFS access this season, get more bang for your buck, Combo Pro. It's a limited time offer. Won't be all season. You get your first month of Combo Pro for $79.99. It's only $5 more than if you're just getting NFL. So you can add like 7-8 more sports for $5 more. You obviously should do that. Secure this discount right now. It's $40 off, by the way. That's a pretty good deal. If I could save $40, I would do it. So make sure you're signing up, taking advantage of the fantastic projections and the sims and the tools and the team and everything else that we've got here, trying to help you out at RotoGrinders. Beer, I got another question for you. It is any Trevor in a DKGPP. Is that Rogers?
Yeah, just talked about that. So I'm not going there personally, but I think if you have a pretty big portfolio or even a smaller portfolio and you want a way to get different, it's a guy with a lot of upside at low ownership. So, the Yankees, yes, they're good, but they're not immune to being shut down either. So it's how much do you want to risk? I think it's a great GPP play.
Yeah. Okay. Cheese, we got a few for you. Matt says DKGPP, who scores more, Perez or Jensen?
I mean, probably Perez, and he'll be appropriately more owned. So I think it's just a matter of if the rest of your lineup is not all chalk, just play Perez. But Jensen is still great if you need to get a little different.
Okay. Cheese Allen's Club says Trio and Caccioni or Bieber and Caglianone.
Yeah, each one's got an Italian guy to like there. So
it's tough.
I mean, that's close. I would do Bieber and Caglianone, but very close.
Shout out to Racky Raccoon. He says, I don't actually have a question because I think yesterday's double dong wraparound was peak question asking. He basically has gotten so good at asking questions and elevated it that now he feels guilty if he just has a normal question. So he won't ask.
He also won Film Friday today.
And he won a big FanDuel GPP and won Film Friday for a free week of RotoGrinders.
I think Film Friday is the big prize here.
That's the prize.
No doubt.
He says, just want to say thank you for you guys rock. See you in the NFL streets. Thank you. We appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
Let's see. Still more questions coming into the Discord. I will jump over into the YouTube shortly. Hit the thumbs up. I will get there momentarily. Beer, DKGPP, Santander, and Rogers, or Judge and Wentz?
I'm going to go with the first set. But it's close. Can always make a case for Judge. Even though we just said Rogers doesn't give up home runs, it's still Aaron Judge.
Yeah. Steve-O, DKGPP, Beer, I'm coming back to you. The last dumpster dive of the season at SP2, Alexander or Pirates legend Wentz?
I like them both. I mentioned them both in my value section. I prefer Wentz over Alexander, but those are my two favorite values tonight.
Yeah. Eric says, can we talk about NFL? Sure. Beer, you've looked at NFL, I bet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do we want to know?
Yeah, you asked the question. Beer's got the answer. Boney says, FanDuel single entry pitcher Cheese. Do I listen to Cheese with Beebs or Beer with Sheehan? I guess I am the. Do I have to make this choice? FanDuel single entry, Beebs. Go Beebs.
And you don't have to do you can absolutely go with a cheaper pitcher too. Like, don't feel like you have to spend up, because like I keep saying, there's very little difference between the high end and the low end. So And then at that, just to reiterate again, the whole thing on Sheehan is we are guessing if he has a full workload or not. There's no way to know. You just make up whatever your opinion on it. If you think he gets a full workload, I think he's the better play at lower ownership. I just lean towards thinking he doesn't. That's why I go Bieber.
Yeah. DK cash pitchers. Did we discuss a cash pairing? Geez, is it Bieber and someone? Bieber and a fourth?
Yeah. I think you do play Bieber in cash. I would play McDonald.
Is that the 4K dude?
That's the 4K dude. Bieber and McDonald.
I love it. Let's see what else we got. Beer Santander, which is, by the way, TJ's pronunciation. That could be wrong. I've always called him Santander prior to that, but
I believe the first one is correct. I used to call him Santander as well, but
it doesn't really matter which is correct. Have you seen his name written out? I mean, just read it.
Yeah.
But since we've gotten brought up a couple times, it is crazy how cheap he is. He's only 2 games back off the IL. Who knows if he's healthy or not? But like, this is like a 4K $4,500 player who's 2,800. So yeah, I think he is a pretty good play.
Okay, well, that was kind of the question. He's 2,400 on FanDuel, and on the sports books, he's plus 390 to hit a bomb. You all on that is the question, and the answer is yeah, we're on that.
I have no idea about that number. Beer would know that.
Yeah, I mean that number should probably be even higher. So, but I think his point is he's cheap with decent home run odds. So to me, as part of a stack, I think it makes sense. Even as a one-off punt, it's not my favorite, but those are pretty good odds at that price.
Okay. Favorite pitcher and FanDuel single entry, kind of went over that. DK single entry, Beer, Caccione or Priester?
I will go. I mean, I got to back my boy Priester.
Cheese coming to you for Keith. Yankees and A's stacks viable in a small field DraftKings tournament?
I mean, the Yankees are always viable, but I personally wouldn't play them in a small field tournament against Trevor Rogers now.
Yeah. Hammer says, Kevin and Cheese and Beer, thank you for the free content you've provided all year long. Actually, he said the great content for free. Hey, thank you for hanging out with us all season long, Hammer. Looking forward to hopefully you'll be hanging out with us in the NBA streets as well in a few weeks.
Which is right around the corner.
It's right around the corner. That's right. It's right. Cheese is unaware. He does not know where the NBA streets are. That's the one thing.
I don't. Is that around the corner? Should I be able to see it?
Yeah, it is. But
look out the window.
Corner I do not need to know about.
He's unfamiliar with that corner.
That's me with hockey. Hockey Street. I have no idea where that is. Could be right here. I'm not
right. Sure. Is Duran the best outfielder, Cheese, at 4,900 or less DK cash?
I don't really like him in cash. I mean, he's fine. But I also don't know if there's a clear, this guy's definitely better.
When I was looking at that question when it popped up, I was originally thinking Merrill would be my first choice. But like according to the bat, Duran does project 2 points better than anybody else in that range.
I like Duran.
1.3.
There's nobody in that range. Like there's nobody in that range. So if that's just the salary you have, then I guess yes. I'd probably play Profar, honestly. But yeah, like if you don't need to save another $1,000, just rebuild, then probably Duran is as good as anything. Yeah.
If you don't have Rooker, would you be fine with Rooker and just leaving that salary?
I like Rooker better than Duran, but it's really close-ish.
Yeah. Javier says, if you nicknamed Kevin Nacho, you would have quite the combination. I will, from now on, if it's the pairing, I will go as Kevin Nacho Roth, and we will have cheese,
that's got a
nachos,
nice ring to it, Roth.
Yeah, I kind of like Kevin Nacho Roth.
Nacho Roth.
All right, from now on, Kevin Nacho Roth, you got it. What else do we have? I feel like we've done a lot of these questions a bunch. I'm kind of scrolling down. Anger says, thank you for a great season. You're welcome. Happy to do it. Money says, thank you, Beer, for the 6-pack last week for NFL. Helped Money Marty take down a tournament, Beer.
Nice. Congrats, Marty. Yeah, we
He was
first couple
he
weeks
was
were rough.
just Marty until last week. Now thanks to Beer,
You got to
Money
add
Marty.
Marty. Yeah, last week we were definitely on it. So hopefully we stay hot this week.
Yeah, love that. Did get some questions into the Discord. Jay Sams with a very kind comment says, "Thank you to Cheese Beer and Roth. It's been a hell of a season. MLB has been very testing." He said he lost some family members earlier this week, and just tuning in to hang out with us made him feel normal again. And we are all like family, and that
Love
means
to
a
hear
lot,
it.
honestly.
Sorry for your loss, and glad we could be here for you.
Yep.
Yeah, Jay Sams is one of those guys been around for a long time. Like I feel like I know him. I don't think I've ever met Jay Sams, but I feel like I know him.
Yeah. It's always fun seeing some of the same names popping up season after season. Where it seems like you're doing a good job if you're keeping the same people year after year. So we're happy to see you, man. FanDuel GPP. By the way, we're just a few minutes into lock. Cheese, Marte, Carroll, McDonald, or Alcantara, Jones, Perez in a FanDuel GPP.
I'm assuming that's Jones, Perez, the two Tigers. Those are common last names, but I'm assuming that means Jami Jones and Wenzel Perez. I prefer Marte, Carroll, and McDonald.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, Beer. I missed most of the pitching takes. I stepped away for a little. I'm looking to be a bit different in a large field DK tournament, running only one lineup. Is Will Warren able to be used against the strikeout happy O's? If it's not too much, could I also please get a third baseman at 3,300 or less on DK? So Beer first, any Will Warren interest, and second, third baseman at 3,300 or less.
Not for me. Cheese he may be in that group of 20 that he talked about. I'm not super excited about him. So I'm going to pass there. 3,300 or less at thirds. Pretty brutal. I mean, Parides at 37 is probably my favorite if you can find a way to get down there. If you have to be there, there's nothing down here that I really like. I'm gonna be honest. Cheese, anything for you? 33 or less? It's pretty
Correa's
down
33. Correa's 33.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't like him per se, but that's who I would play.
Yeah.
You could also do Josh Young, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Yelich or Duran, Cheese, DK GPP from Steven.
Yelich.
Okay. Profar or Yelich, Cheese, last man in FanDuel single entry.
I like Yelich.
Okay.
On the note of the last one, the guys wanting to get different, it's getting different by paying up at third base for Jose Ramirez or Junior Caminero. So just spend down for the 4K pitcher McDonald, and then instead of playing one of those crappy third basemen, go play Jose Ramirez.
TJ with an inspirational message there. That's my whole day. Yeah, cheap pitching, spend it like Caminero, J-Ram, Marte.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Beer, do you guys like Sal Perez? Do you like him?
He's one of my favorite catchers tonight. He's going to carry some ownership, so keep that in mind with the rest of your lineup. But yeah, I really like him.
Okay. Wanted to thank everybody with the nice comments coming through on the YouTube. Edgar, Peter, Hammer, Lone Wolf, all with some really nice comments. Hey, it's been a fun season. Usually at this point in the season, I'm really like no mas. I'm tapped out. But I feel like the weather has gone well, and really these shows have been a lot of fun. So.
You haven't had to do weather for a month. You're feeling good, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I had like 3 weeks off where the weather pattern was just dead, and that certainly helped out a little bit. Gentlemen, we have hit the lock, and we have hit the final bell on our shows here. Anything you want to say to the people, Cheese, before we go? A little quick goodbye.
Hey, it's been fun. Yeah, theoretically, I'll be back next year, at least to give you some content, and until then, say hi. I'll be around. I'll be in Discord. I don't know how you. There's no Twitter. I would say send me a tweet. It's like you can't. It's not a thing. Send me an X. Don't do that. That sounds. Say hello. I'm here. Come eat some barbecue if you want. I might even cook you something if you let me know ahead of time. Come see the horse. Yeah, We'll be
I mean,
back.
all I want to do is pet the horse and eat some of Cheese's ribs that he's spritzing with the vinegar and that. Yeah, I mean, that sounds good to me. Beer, you want to say goodbye to the people before we clear out?
But no goodbye for me, Roth. They're going to be sick of seeing me. Football in full swing, basketball coming up here. So Tournament Takes podcast every Saturday, 6-pack rolls on. So, but I do want to say thank you to everybody. You guys are awesome. Appreciate all the great questions, all the great feedback. We have an awesome community here. So happy to be a part of it with some great people. Love doing these shows with you guys. Highlight of my Fridays. Been a lot of fun. So we'll miss baseball, but the show definitely rolls on. But again, appreciate each and every one of you for watching, commenting, whatever you're doing to contribute to the site here. We really appreciate it.
And
Well
hey,
said.
like good luck to the Brewers. Like I've been like, kind of mean to the Brewers for DFS reasons, but for real life baseball, I love the way they built that team. Like I'm rooting for Brewers Mariners. I think that would
Thank
be the
you.
most glorious.
That
World
would be
Series
fun.
ever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and good luck
I'm
Blue
excited.
Jays too. Don't forget.
Yeah,
nobody
whatever
likes
happened,
the
yeah.
You know. Good. How about those Astros? Good luck,
Who would you
Astros.
rather win the division, the Yankees or the Blue Jays? Come on.
Blue
Well,
Jays.
that's easy. But
Yeah, well said. Well said.
Go Brewers. Go
I know.
Brewers. I like it, Chiefs.
And as TJ mentioned, we do have one more MLB show tomorrow. I mentioned I'm going to keep the forecasting going all the way through the postseason, so you will not run out of weather updates. That is for sure. And we've got all the sports content you could ever want right here at RotoGrinders. I mentioned we've got a great deal as well going on with our Combo Pro, so please do sign up. Thanks for a great season, guys. For Cheese, for Beer, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. And some of us will catch you tomorrow. You have been